Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show on what is such a special day for all of us. The final day of the NFL regular season is upon us. I know, a sad day for many, but for others, it is Championship Sunday, the opportunity to get season-long, year-long bragging rights over friends, family, co-workers, and those rivals you bitterly hate all fantasy year long. And of course, for everyone else who might have had their championship last week, it is a sports betting Sunday, the last NFL regular season, the last opportunity of all of them to get in on the action. Welcome in, everybody, to the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you real sports fans across the world, no matter the platform you're watching on. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Welcome in, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you with us. It has been an amazing season, and we're not done yet. I hope you guys are ready for what is a loaded show. We're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to talk sports betting. We're going to talk DFS. And of course, we're going to rant about what's going on. Is today the final day that Bill Belichick is head coach of the New England Patriots? Is today the day finally Ron Rivera has been waiting for? The day before he gets fired? Which players will hit their contracts incentives? Which teams will make the playoffs? We're going to dive into all of it over the next 3 hours because this is the last chance, everyone. If you've been holding on for NFL Week 18, you've arrived. And welcome in. Excited to talk some fantasy football with you. Excited to talk some NFL with you. If you have questions, no matter the platform, get them in because we are here to help you guys out, give you all the information you need. We have done our research. We have dove into all the stats and made sure that we've come up with all the answers that you guys need to take advantage of this final NFL Sunday of the regular season. Welcome in, everyone. Of course, we will be giving out picks every 5,000 likes. So throughout the show, every time we hit 5,000 likes, we're putting a pick up on the big board. Player prop bets, game picks, total plays, they're all there. Now, if you want to get those and you don't want to wait around throughout the show, you know what to do. Go to the SHARPZ app. Make sure you go check it out. However, if you want to make sure you get my picks, DM me on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me on Instagram, and that way I can share with you our link and referral code so you can get my picks right away and get them in. But while we're going at it, let's get into all of your questions right away. Let's talk some fantasy football. And of course, let's get to your questions across all these great platforms. No matter where you may be watching, the honor of the first question of the day is going to go to Logan Black. Logan, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great Sunday. You're asking Brandon Cooks or Demarcus Robinson. Great question. Robinson's obviously come on strong in the back half of the season with a number of touchdowns. However, it's Carson Wentz that's going to be throwing him the ball today. It is not going to be Matthew Stafford. I'd rather go with Brandon Cooks. Good matchup against the Washington Commanders. Cooks is really impressed this year. I know he struggled a little bit away from Dallas, but I'd much rather have Cooks today over Robinson. That's the play I'd make. Alexander, great to see you this morning. DJ Moore or Amon-Ra St. Brown, or is that intended to be A.J. Brown? Confused about which one you're going with. A.J. Brown does have the better matchup. No Devontae Smith as well in that lineup. Should be a good start for you, I think, if you went with A.J. Brown, if that's the one you're referring to. Mo Man, Deebo Samuel, or Zamir White. Avoid Deebo Samuel. For a lot of you guys out there, the San Francisco 49ers offense is a trap today. They've already let it be known Kyle Shanahan will be sitting many of his starters getting ready for the postseason. I know they have the number one seed. They've already clinched that bye. So why not give their stars 2 weeks off? Don't play Deebo Samuel. Zamir White is the play today. By the way, Jack, JT, Monster Day. Jonathan Taylor came through for a lot of you fantasy owners. I warned you guys about Jaylen Warren, someone we didn't talk about yesterday, in part because our connection was so bad at the hotel I'm staying at, was Najee Harris. Najee Harris, a monster Saturday, I should say, and he came through for the Steelers as they punched their win. Can they punch their ticket to the playoffs? It's out of their hands now. We'll have to see. Fotana, great to have you with us this morning. Flex Hall, Eckler, or Elliott. Very, very tricky. I'll say Eckler and Elliott. My concern is Breece Hall. Tough weather, and are the Jets really going to pound the ball with Breece Hall? He's facing the best defense out of all those that you mentioned. I think I'd go Eckler and Elliott. Ranger, one of my favorites. Ranger, great to see you. John, great to see you. It's so wonderful to have so many familiar faces join the show today. If you haven't done so, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, because Butt Fumble Sports is not stopping with the NFL regular season. We will be talking sports every single day we can of 2024, whether it is football, basketball, NHL, MLB, college sports. We are here to talk sports with you guys as often as we can. Rich Matthews, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. McLaurin, Hopkins, Thielen, or Ridley, very tricky. So, one thing I want to make note of, it sounds like Christian Kirk is back. Christian Kirk has been activated off the IR. I think that's one of the reasons we don't like Ridley. As for the other three, mixed emotions about them. I think McLaurin could have a decent game. He has some incentives on the line that we want to keep our eye on, but I don't like him nearly as much as Hopkins and Thielen. Frankly, I think Thielen has the best matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if Hopkins has a great day. If you could, I'd start both Hopkins and Thielen, but if I had to pick between just one of them, I think I'd go Adam Thielen, believe it or not, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is so bad against the pass. Jeremiah, great to see you. St. Brown or DJ Moore? Here's my only question. How long is St. Brown going to play? Now that the Lions know they have no shot at that number 1 seed and they're going to want to rest some of their starters, does St. Brown play the full game? Does DJ Moore play the full game because the Bears want to actually trip up the Packers and prevent them from getting into the postseason? So Jeremiah, maybe the Packers, I don't know if they punched their ticket yet. I don't think so. I think the Packers have to win today. So here's what I would say. If you feel like St. Brown's is going to start the full game, go St. Brown. He does have the better matchup. But Jeremiah, if you're concerned like I am about which one will actually play in the fourth quarter, I'd lean towards DJ Moore. Simeon, what's better bet? Bears cover or Titans cover? Ooh, I love both of them. I could see both teams covering, but the one I actually have the most confidence in is the Tennessee Titans to cover. In fact, we're halfway to our live goal of 5,000 likes, but screw that. It's a special NFL Sunday. We're not going to wait around to give out some picks. Let's jump right into it. Our first pick of the day that we're going to be giving out for all of you sports bettors out there is the Tennessee Titans. We're taking them at +7. I don't think that the Jaguars are going to win by a full touchdown. I think this game is going to be much, much closer. And one thing I actually want to point out to you guys, as we jump on over to Outlier, the sports betting research tool that we use every day here at Butt Fumble Sports, you'll notice something very interesting about how the public money and the sharp money is coming down in this game. You'll see, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, that the money line percentage of bets and the percentage of money on the money line, they're about the same. On the Jaguars, just barely, but about a 50-50 split. What's really interesting, when we look at how the public is betting and how we look at how the sharp money is betting, the public likes the Titans on the spread. The sharp money, also known as the professional gamblers, the people that do this for a living, they love the Titans today. 96% of the money bet on this game when it comes to the spread is on the Titans. Be wary of that, as in that's a good sign for the Titans. Be wary if you're taking the Jaguars. I like the Titans to cover, as I just showed you up on the big board. Titans +7.5. That's one of my favorite bets of the day. It's up on the board, and that kicks us off. Remember, every time we get to 5,000 likes, we're going to give out a pick, and of course, rapid fire is in effect. If you guys want to do rapid fire with Q&A, make sure you help us hit our live goal, 100 roses, rapid fire we go. Crazy Legs, Love or Goff? You gotta go Love, in part because, again, how long is Goff gonna play in that game? And additionally, Jordan Love has a lot to play for and faces a worse pass defense. I know the Bears have been better over the last month and a half, but I still like Love more than Goff, Crazy Legs. iClick's asking me to pick two and a flex. Mix in Zamir White, Swift, Slayton, and Zay Jones. Great question, iClick. I'd go Zamir White, I'd go DeAndre Swift, and I'd actually go Darius Slayton. Eagles' pass defense has been one of the worst in the NFL, truly one of their Achilles' heels, and why they could actually get knocked out of the playoffs sooner. I think Darius Slayton could have a good game. Watch out for those New York Giants. They could be a thorn in the Eagles' side. Trip 3, wonderful to see you. Ferguson or Kelsey? Don't go with Kelsey. No Kelsey today. I expect them to sit him in Kansas City. Additionally, no Patrick Mahomes. So don't go with Kelsey. I'd go Ferguson. Steve B, wonderful to see you today. James Cook or Jerome Ford? Again, guys, for teams that have already punched their ticket, be wary of them. I don't know how many touches Ford's going to get, but James Cook is going to be very much needed by the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. James Cook over Ford is the play for me, Steve B. Mo Man, we answered your question a moment ago. It's Zamir White. Mo-Man, it's Zamir White. Caden, Myers, Slayton, or Wandale. I'd go Slayton just barely. I like Myers, but I think I like Slayton just a little bit more. iClick, so happy to hear you won your champion, or you're up in your championship. I don't want to say you won it yet, but a good first week in a 2-week championship. Fotana, thank you, man. Already won a championship in 1 league. Going for 2 today. Let's go, Fotana. Fist bump. Go get it, buddy. If you guys tap that screen, we got to 5,000 likes. There you go. We have another pick to give out. Again, every time we hit 5,000 likes, we're putting a pick up on the big board. One of our favorite bets today, we're going back to the game picks that we're giving out. And though I'm a little bit wary about this, I'm still going to put it up there. I'm going to take the Falcons plus 6.5. I think the Falcons cover. One of the reasons I like this is Derek Carr is a favorite. Yeah, I'll fade that action. But I like the Falcons to cover. I think it's going to be around a 3-4 point game, even if they lose this one. But Falcons plus 6.5, that's going up on the big board because we just hit 5,000 likes. Get us to 10, we'll give out another pick. James Julian's asking Walker or Derrick Henry. Interesting subplot today. This could be Derrick Henry's last game in a Tennessee Titans uniform. Curious to see what his usage is going to be. I like Kenneth Walker III more, James. 1, the Seahawks need to punch their ticket. And 2, Kenneth Walker is facing one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. In fact, the Arizona Cardinals are the worst run defense in the NFL, allowing an average of 143.5 rushing yards per game. Kenneth Walker III is one of my favorite players of the day. Definitely have him in DFS and definitely have him in your fantasy lineup. Mario, great to see you. Murray or Geno Smith? Good question, as I just alluded to. Feel like there could be some offense in that one. I'm going to go Geno Smith just barely. It's very, very close for me. I think Kyler Murray could do some damage actually with his legs on the ground, but I like Geno Smith a little bit more. JP, Bengals or Browns under 37.5. I'm not going to dive into that one with the same extent I want to keep to the questions, but I do want to show you where that public money and sharp money is coming down on that Browns and Bengals game. If we just open this up and see the public betting, you will see very heavy on the under. The public, 79% of total tickets bet on that Browns-Bengals game have it on the under. The sharp money, even more in favor of it, 95%. I feel like that's a good underplay. I might want to buy that one up, though. You guys know how Butt Fumble Sports does. The sports books want to take my money. They're setting traps, trying to get us to fall into it. So when I have the option to move the line a little bit, just to get a little bit of an advantage on the sports books, I always do. So if we wanted to shift to an alternative line for that total, look for under 41 at minus 201. I actually think that's a very good spot to get that. Minus 201 is not a bad place to get it. Only concern, could the Bengals put up enough points? Are the Browns really in it? I don't think it's actually that bad. I'm going to put this one up on my big board as well. That's Browns and Bengals there. And we're going to take the under 41 in that game. Again, that's at minus 201. So that's how I'm going to play that game for you, JP. James, hope you have a great day. Sam Cameron has a question. Pick 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 1 flex out of this group. Mixon, Eckler, Elliott, Zamir White, Elijah Mitchell, McLaughlin, Thielen, Puka, Wandale, and McLaurin. Loaded group right there. Let's break it down, Sammy. My 2 running backs would be Zamir White, and for the moment, I'm leaning Eckler. Eckler and White would be the 2. Eckler has a favorable matchup against the Broncos. That's why, forgive me. The Chargers today are facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Forgive me. I actually still like Eckler. I still think Eckler is a decent play in that one. So Eckler and Zamir White would be the 2 I'd probably go with. Thielen would be the wide receiver out of that group. Bobby knows everything, kinda. Cook or Henry, I'd go James Cook again. It's the Buffalo Bills need a bit more out of their offense. They need to punch their ticket to the postseason. Titans are done, so I prefer James Cook a bit. Jeremiah, James Cook or James Conner? Ooh, good question. I do like James Conner. He has the better matchup when it comes to a defense against the run, so I do prefer that just slightly. That would be James Conner. Mo-Man, Jawan Johnson, or Kincaid. I'd go Kincaid today. Crowned best defense of the day. That's going to be a really tough one, but I'm going to take the New England Patriots. They're facing a god-awful Jets offense, and not just that. It's also potentially the last day of Bill Belichick's reign as head coach and czar of the New England Patriots. But additionally, A ton of snow has just been dumped on the Northeast. Massachusetts is buried in the white stuff, so I think both offenses might have a tough time gaining traction. I think the Patriots defense is a very strong play. Guys, we're almost to 10,000 likes. We're going to give that another pick at 10,000 likes. And when we hit our live goal of 100 roses, we're going to do a rapid fire. We're going to answer as many questions as we can, as fast as we can. To Viato the B, we just hit 10K, so I will give you an anytime touchdown pick. The next pick we're going to give out today is going to be a player we think scores a touchdown. We are doing an anytime touchdown contest, guys. So if you email us, feedback@buttfumblesports.com, and give us the name of a player who scores a touchdown today, you can win 25% off everything in our store, including the sweatshirt I'm wearing now. Not the literal one, little stinky. But that said, you can win off 25% everything in our store. Email us the name of a player you think scores a touchdown, and we can give you that 25% off discount. That said, who do we think is going to score an anytime touchdown? You can ride along with us on this. I'm going to take Rachaad White. Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over half an anytime touchdown. He has been scorching hot this season. For many of you, he has been a fantasy MVP, and he faces a terrible run defense in the Carolina Panthers. So I do like that one just a little bit. Sorry, I got some sun in my face, so of course we have our issues here, making the most of what we can do. Appreciate you guys being with us. Appreciate your questions. Hopefully we can get to every single one of them over the course of the show. Okay, nothing like some sun in the eye. Okay, let's get back to your questions now, everybody. Logan, pick one. Mostert is not expected to play, everybody. Jalen Waddle and Mostert not expected to play. Is there another way I can... There we go. Nope, still sucks. Okay, anyways, not a problem. Mostert's not playing, so Achane becomes a very good play, Logan. I would go with Achane. He's my favorite out of that group. I like Elliott, but I do think Kevin Harris is going to take some touches from him. As for defenses, Bucks are okay. Patriots are preferred, so I'd go Achane and the Patriots defense. Z Boogie, you like Mixon on an anytime touchdown. I hear you, buddy. Tyler Ola, start two. Zeke, Chuba Hubbard, Chandler, Herbert, and Pierre Strong. The Pierre Strong's kind of an interesting play. He might get a lot more opportunities today. I'd probably lean towards Zeke and Pierre Strong, Tyler. I think you're onto something there. Shadow TH, Seahawks and Eagles winning today. I think that the Seahawks win. I actually am a little bit concerned about the Eagles in that Giants game. Don't be surprised if that's a very tight one. I think both probably come away with the win, but I don't think the Eagles' odds are worth betting on, given how heavy a favorite they are and how tight a game that could actually be. And additionally, I have my concerns with no Devontae Smith, but I do think both the birds from both sides of the coast, Seahawks on the west, Eagles on the east coast, will both get wins today. Bounce it, Betty. Pick one. Reed, Lockett, or Christian Kirk. When Christian Kirk has been healthy, he's been a phenomenal play. Part of me wants to say Christian Kirk, but I'm actually going to go Lockett. One of the reasons for that is I saw earlier this week in doing my research that Tyler Lockett has a phenomenal record in the final game of regular seasons. He scored a touchdown in something like 3 straight Week 18 or Week 17 before the schedule changed games. So you may want to consider Tyler Lockett. He seems to have a good finishing kick for the Seahawks every year. Larkus is asking Fields or Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts on that one. It is a function of the defense he's playing. I think Fields could cause trouble for the Packers in the run game, but I like Jalen Hurts overall. And of course, the opportunity for Jalen Hurts to get a rushing touchdown on top of the passing yards and passing touchdown opportunities, I think Jalen Hurts is the better play, Larkus. Appreciate your question over there on YouTube. No matter the platform you're watching on right now, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. Butt Fumble Sports is live as frequently as we can be, almost every day. We had a great everyday streak going in 2023. Unfortunately, that got broken earlier this week. But we are going to be live as many days as we can consistently. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss our show. Bello, will the Steelers get in? I don't think so. I think the Steelers will be denied a playoff spot, though obviously they put themselves in a good position last night. I do also think part of me wants them to lose, I will admit, because if they don't have TJ Watt, I feel like the likelihood they could win in a wild card weekend goes way down, and I'd like to see some really competitive round one games for the NFL playoffs. Texas Tejano, way too early question. I have the first pick next year. Would you pick first round Kyren Williams first overall? Texas Tejano, I probably wouldn't. I actually think we've done it. We've seen enough from that first round wide receiver group that you may want, it obviously depends on who's quarterbacking where. You may want to consider a wide receiver for that number one overall spot. Kyren Williams is going to be a top running back, but if you're in a PPR league, wide receiver may be a better play. Reversed is asking Zamir White or Tony Pollard. Very tricky, Reversed. I really like both of them, but I'm going to go Zamir White. Tony Pollard might be an LVP for a lot of you fantasy owners. He's really disappointed this year. Zamir White, no Josh Jacobs. He's the RB1. I think Zamir White's ultimately going to be the better play. Let's get back to the questions over on TikTok for a bit. Evan Strom, Herbert or Achan? I would go Achan with no Mostert. Achan's going to get a lot more touches and opportunities. Tony Flores, is Puka playing? Even if he is, I don't expect him to be out there long. One of the things I actually take into account is Sean McVay has been through a postseason before. He knows that he's going to need a healthy Puka, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, and Kyren Williams to go to the Super Bowl. So I don't expect Puka to be out there for long. Maybe just long enough to hit some of those contract incentives, become the best wide receiver rookie of all time when it comes to receiving yards. But frankly, I wouldn't start Puka today. I don't have a lot of confidence in him. Sully, Darius Slayton, or Adam Thielen? Ooh, tricky one. I like them both. But I'm going to go Adam Thielen. He's had a pretty strong year. He's the wide receiver one, and he's facing a bad Buccaneers pass defense. I'll lean just slightly towards him. The Buccaneers are the worst pass defense in the NFL this year, allowing an average of 260.3 pass yards per game. I like Thielen just slightly over Slayton, Sully. Karen Brown, Raiders or Jets? If we're talking defense, I would go Jets. I don't think there's going to be a lot of offense in that Patriots-Jets game. In fact, the total for that game has slipped below 30 points. That would be the lowest total ever put out in the more modern era of sports betting. So, if you like defense, check out the Jets and Patriots this afternoon. But I like the Jets defense a little bit more than the Raiders, Karen Brown. Bounce it, Betty. Start Swift today? Yes, I would. Giants are not a good run defense. Bottom 12 of the league. I'd rather have DeAndre Swift. If you guys out there want a rapid fire, we have to hit our live goal of 100 roses. We're closing in on it. Make sure you hit us up, and that way we can get to it. Gabriel Cruz, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, or Jared Goff. Gabriel, I'd go Jalen Hurts. Pedro, Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants, or Garrett Wilson. I'd go Wan'Dale Robinson. He's facing a more vulnerable pass defense in the Eagles. And additionally, Garrett Wilson, a lot of snow there in New England. Don't know if I'd be taking Garrett Wilson the receiving yards today. Doesn't feel like a strong play. Appreciate you guys joining us no matter where you are across the country, the world, and no matter the platform you're watching on. It is so wonderful to have you with us on this very special NFL Sunday, the last Sunday of the regular season. If you've been a loyal follower of Butt Fumble Sports, you know we've been here, first of all, for the last 2 years, but additionally, from literally preseason in July, drafts in August, and through every week of the NFL regular season. It's been wonderful to be able to spend this entire season with all of you. I hope you guys have gotten good advice, gotten a lot of fantasy wins, maybe put some money in your pocket when it comes to sports betting, and we're hoping to finish off strong, go from the 20 to the 10 to the 5 and into the end zone with our picks today. So of course, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, hit up our live goal and get your questions in. Today is the last day of the regular season. Got to get those wins. Mo Man, I'd go Zamir White over Etienne. Reverse, thoughts on the Dallas defense today? I think they'll get plenty of sacks, but don't be surprised if they give up a few more yards and points than we all expect. Shadow TH, you think the Bengals, Lions, and Buccaneers are winning today? Shadow, I actually think that's a good trio. I think the Bengals could come out with the win. I actually think the Buccaneers is the one maybe I'm most nervous about, ironically. But I do think Bengals, Lions, and Bucks get the win, Shadow. Good call. Texas Tejano, so Cheetah or CD Lamb? Keep in mind Jefferson, Texas Tejano. Keep in mind Justin Jefferson. You don't want to forget him. It's just a question of who's throwing him the ball. Tony Salty, start one. Godwin or St. Brown? Tony, here's my only question. Is St. Brown going to play the full 4 quarters? If he does, I like St. Brown more. If he doesn't, I think I'd go Godwin just because I'm getting literally another quarter, another half of potential production. I don't know what Dan Campbell's going to do. We haven't seen the Lions in this position ever, where they have the option of resting some players to get ready for the postseason. So I'm a little bit curious about how he's going to play St. Brown. St. Brown is such an essential part of their offense. I wouldn't expect him to get the kind of opportunities on the field that he normally does, on a regular Sunday. So part of me is leaning Godwin, Tony, even though I know St. Brown has the better matchup. That's the tricky part of NFL Week 18. We can't go off the data that we've had the previous 17 weeks with the same conviction, because it really is a function of how are these head coaches going to handle their starting lineups, their benches, their stars. A lot of questions out there. Larkus, Justin Fields, or Jalen Hurts. I answered that one a moment ago, Larkus. I'd go Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts would be the play for me. Shock'em. I put Najee on the bench and started Zamir White. Was that a mistake? It certainly is going to look like a mistake in the rearview mirror. I'm hoping Zamir White has a pretty good game, so I think they're going to balance out pretty well. That said, Najee really came through, so I don't want to say that you're mistake-free, but I do think Zamir White could have a good game for you. Texas Tejano's got an interesting question. It is a bit more forward-thinking, but what round do you think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes in? First of all, I think he will probably be drafted a little bit higher than he should, just because of the brand name and kind of the hype around him. I think a lot of fantasy owners kind of jump at the opportunity to take brand names without actually really considering the value you get all season long. I'm going to assume Marvin Harrison is drafted by the Chicago Bears. A lot of momentum for that to happen, especially with Justin Fields sounding like he will be their starting quarterback next year. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably a good 5, 6, 7 round pick. I don't think he should probably go as high as everyone thinks. Again, think about where you took Zay Flowers this year. I told you guys at the start of the year, I thought Zay Flowers was going to be the best rookie wide receiver, and he certainly has been, but he's not worth a 4th round pick, probably not worth a 5th round pick. For many of you, you got him in the 6th or 7th round. I feel like that's about right. I don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. breaks that 4th, 5th round threshold. Great to see you. DJ Moore or Mike Evans? Tricky one. So, Packers' pass defense has been a little bit better of late, and yet at the same time, I think I'd go Mike Evans. Mike Evans needing a touchdown, that would ultimately seal it for me. Very tough on this one. Don't feel really strong conviction towards either one. I'm going to go Mike Evans just barely. And again, that's all related to the probability that he can find the end zone. Guys, we are closing in on our live goal. We have 67 roses. We got to get to 100. We'll do a rapid fire when we get there. When we hit 15,000 likes, we're going to give out another pick. So make sure you're tapping that screen as well. Is Pierre Strong a better play over Hubbard and Herbert? It's close. It's very close, Tyler Ola. I kind of like it just because I think he is going to get a lot of opportunities. I think I like him more than Herbert, but it's very close. Bounce it, Betty. Is Hall a must start today? Hell no. I don't think Breece Hall is a must start. He's facing a great Patriots run defense. In fact, the Patriots are the second best run defense in the NFL behind only the Chicago Bears. He would have to have a breakaway run in the snow. Is he capable of that? I don't know. I don't think Breece Hall is a must start. Gabriel Cruz, Chance Hurts sits in the second half. Gabriel, I actually don't think it's as big a concern as it would have been because the Eagles desperately need this win, and they'll be hoping that the Cowboys lose. Obviously, they'll be doing some scoreboard watching, but because those games are going on simultaneously, I don't think the Eagles can be lax or can be arrogant about their playoff position. I expect Jalen Hurts to play a majority of the game. Garrett Chance, pick 2, DK, Diggs, Evans, or Puka. I'd go DK, and for the moment, I'm going to lean just slightly, believe it or not, towards Evans, just barely over Diggs. Very, very close for me on that, but I'll go DK and Evans. Diggs has been an LVP over the last 8 weeks. Logan Hunton, pick 1. Brandon Cooks, Ridley, Lockett, Jaden Reed, or Thielen. Tough. I'm going to go Thielen just barely over Lockett, Logan. It's purely because Thielen's the wide receiver 1. Love the matchup against the Bucks. I like Ridley. I like Cooks. I like Lockett. Don't really like Reed. But Adam Thielen's going to be the one I'd go with. I think he's the best play. Ari, is Brandon Cooks a good start? Yes, he is. He is a good start today. George, Jamar Chase, or Garrett Wilson. I don't like Wilson at all, so it would be Jamar Chase. Steve B, Breece Hall, or Strong. I'd probably go Strong, actually. I actually think between the matchup is a little bit more favorable. And additionally, again, it's weather. Weather. I am a bit concerned about all of those out there. The weather in New England, how is it going to impact things? I think the Cleveland Browns are going to rely pretty heavy on Pierre Strong. Wouldn't be surprised if they sit Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt for a majority of the game. The Bengals have been a bad run defense throughout the season. Bengals are a bottom 6 run defense, so I like that. Guys, we just hit our live goal. Thank you so much for supporting the show wherever you are. Thank you for being a butt fumbler out there. We are going to do a rapid fire. What's a rapid fire? We answer as many fantasy questions as fast as we can, as long as we can. All we ask of you guys is you tap the screen. As long as you're tapping that screen on TikTok, we will not stop answering your fantasy questions. Are you guys ready? Are you set? You got those index fingers ready to tap the screen? Okay, guys, let's get ready to go. Rapid fire starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rapid fire engaged. Cam, do you think DJ Moore will be good today? What do you think about Justin Fields? If Justin Fields and Moore are both healthy, I like them. There are a few players I like more, but I do like DJ Moore very much. What does rapid fire look like after fantasy football? We're going to have to figure that out, Ranger. Tidbits, Cooks, Ridley, or Lockett. Tidbits, I'm going to go Lockett, believe it or not. Lockett just barely. Z Boogie, Mixon touchdown. Don't think it's a bad play. Haven't done my research on it specifically just because the Browns are such a good run defense. Bounce it Betty. Eagles or New England defense. No brainer on that one. Bounce it Betty. New England Patriots defense. Tyler Ola, Derek Carr, a good start today? I actually don't think so. I don't think it's a great one. Jack, Wilson, Mingo, Brandon Cooks, or Jacoby Myers. I'd go Brandon Cooks just barely, Jack. Barely over Mingo. Derek, Chase, or Adams. I'd go Devontae Adams barely over Chase. That's how I'd play it. Douglas, Ridley, or Addison. Great question. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley on that one and trust that Christian Kirk is actually going to help his cause. I'll go Ridley, but it's very, very tight on that play. Finn, Ty Chandler, or Romeo Dobbs. I'm going to go Romeo Dobbs, Finn. Reggie Foster, Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, Jaden Reed. Reggie Foster, I'm going to go... I don't like any of them, Reggie Foster, to be honest. I guess I'd go Jaden Reed, but I think all are poor plays today. La Cosa Nostra, Everett, Kraft, Jawan Johnson, or Taysom Hill. Very, very tricky. I'm going to lean slightly towards Gerald Everett. Luke Musgrave is back for the Green Bay Packers, making Tyler Kraft not as good a play as he had been the previous few weeks. Cam, Chris Olave, or Stephon Diggs. I'll go Chris Olave purely based on recent performance given Diggs' struggle. Big Uzi, pick 2, Achan, Elliott, Spears, Addison, or Chase. I'd go Achan and Addison. Achan and Addison just barely. K-Ski, pick 2, CEH, Gibbs, Barkley, or Achan. I'd go Achan, and for the moment, I'm going to lean towards CEH, just thinking he's going to get a lot of carries today over Gibbs, being potentially rested in that Lions game. Jared Ford, 111, Diggs, Gabe Davis, or D-Hop. I'd go D-Hop. He's got the best matchup. I think he has the best chance at a big day. William Johnson, Mixon, or Achan. I got to go Achan with no Mostert. I think Achan's the better play. Douglas, Ridley, or Addison. Very, very close. I think I'd lean Ridley, but it's very, very close. Javi, what's a good defense to start the day? New England Patriots, everybody. The New England Patriots are a defense that if you got them, they are a must start. If they're available on the waiver wire, get them in your lineup. I really like the Patriots defense. Jack, DJ Chark, or Brandon Cooks. Tricky. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Cooks, though very, very close. RB, Swift, Pollard, and Addison. Pick 1. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. The Giants' run defense is the reason. I'll go Swift. I know Pollard's facing a worse run defense, just barely. But given how Pollard's been performing and how Dak could play, I think Swift is actually the better start over Pollard. User 1050, Aaron Jones running the ball. Hate that. Chicago Bears have been the best run defense in the NFL this season, believe it or not, allowing just 84 rushing yards per game. I'm fading Aaron Jones specifically in the running game. Fuzz Dodger, DK, or Diggs? I'd go DK, Fuzz Dodger. Thanks for the question. C-Do 04, James Conner or Zamir White? I'm going to lean just slightly, just barely, towards Zamir White. Very close. I like them both, but Zamir White. C. Moyer, 18. Bills take the win over the Finns. I think so. I think the Bills are punching their ticket to the postseason in part because Waddle and Mostert are both out. Damian Skyberg, does Kittle play the whole game? Absolutely not. No way Kyle Shanahan's going to risk Kittle for the entire length of the game that has no value to the 49ers. Derek, Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, Zamir White, or Chase. Derek, I'd go Zamir White. Derek, Zamir White. Cam, should I start the Cowboys defense or the Patriots? I would start the Patriots. I actually think they have a better chance of pitching the shutout or at least keeping the score very, very low. Cowboys are a little bit vulnerable. We've seen on the road they're not as good. I'd be a little bit wary. They'll get sacks, but I like the Patriots a little more. Patty, will Kamara be a good start today? Not so much. The Falcons have been they're kind of middle of the pack run defense, but I'm not crazy about Alvin Kamara. Ari, Everett, or Ferguson? Tricky. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Everett. Everett would be the play for me. Jonathan Owens, Hurts or Murray? I'd go Jalen Hurts just barely over Kyler Murray, though it is very close. Lewis, Cowboys defense, Bucks defense. That would be Cowboys. I don't like the Bucks defense. They've struggled against the pass. William Johnson, Gibbs, Montgomery, keep in with Achan. Have both of them in and Achan as a flex. Mixon on the bench. Get Mixon in the lineup. Do I think Gibbs and Montgomery are going to play the entirety of that Lions game? I don't. I'd actually choose one of them to sit. I'd probably start Montgomery, Achan, and Mixon. Frankly, by the way, Mixon probably has a better play today than the other two. Both are facing tough run defenses, but we at least know Mixon's going to get his carries. C-Do, I'd go Zamir White. C-Do, Zamir White just barely. J-A-D, do the Jags play today? Everybody plays today. Everybody's playing. There's no Monday Night Football game, so if they didn't play yesterday, they're playing today. The Jags do play the Tennessee Titans. Watch out, Jaguar fans. Could be a nervous game for you. RB, I'd go Swift. RB, I'd go Swift. Someone just asked Hall or Chuba Hubbard. I do prefer Hall just barely, I think. Both are facing tough run defenses. Bucks are the number 4 run defense. Patriots number 2. I don't like Chuba Hubbard today. I think I'd go Breece Hall barely, but it's very close. Mason, Diggs, or Terry McLaurin. I'm going to say Diggs. I know Terry McLaurin has some contract incentives that could play a factor in things, but I do think that Diggs is the better play. Douglas, Hall, Hubbard, or Mitchell? That's a great question. I'm going to say Mitchell just barely, in part because the other two are facing better run defenses. I'll say Mitchell just by a hair. Big Uzi, Elliott, Chase, Swift, or Spears. Big Uzi, I'll go DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift would be the play for me today. Giants, again, are the 4th worst run defense in the NFL this season. That's why I'm leaning in that direction. Appreciate you guys being with us. Get those questions in. How much will Jerome Ford play? Not much. I don't think they'll want to risk his health, given how valuable he is to that offense. Cam, Chase, or Diggs, or Olave, or Moore? Ooh, great question. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Chris Olave, number 1. He'd be my favorite. DJ Moore would be number 2. Keep tapping that screen if you want us to continue doing the rapid fire. Patty, is the Jets defense a good start? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Joe Modelo's Houston in the playoffs. And by the way, did their 2 draft picks perform well yesterday? Will Anderson, beast. CJ Stroud, a generational talent. The Houston Texans are back. This may be the best that franchise has ever been. And by the way, DeMeco Ryans, bravo. I know you're not going to win Coach of the Year because of Kevin Stefanski, but DeMeco Ryans has done a brilliant job and is reminding everybody of how talented he was as a DC. He changed that Texans defense. Look out for them in the postseason. C. Moyer, does Buffalo win today? I believe they do. I do believe the Buffalo Bills get that dub. Appreciate you guys being with us. Keep tapping that screen if you want us to continue rapid fire. Oh, there go the hearts. So the heart button has no longer been showing up. So let's give out another pick. We've hit 22,000 likes. Let's give out another pick for everybody. I've been mentioning this one quite a bit, so I'll put it up on the big board so it's there so you guys can see it. I'm taking Buffalo on the money line. One thing I want to make note, I'll actually give out a second pick as a part of my explanation. Josh Allen, over 1.5 passing touchdowns is a player prop bet I really like. Why? You may have seen this on my Instagram account. Josh Allen, in every game he's played against the Dolphins, and I believe now it's up to 11 games in his career he's played the Dolphins, he has at least 2 passing touchdowns in every game he's played against Miami. You got to think, because the game's down in South Beach as opposed to upstate New York, that favors the Buffalo Bills offense and their ability to attack downfield. And keep in mind, with the injuries now to Bradley Chubb and other members of that front line for the Miami Dolphins, they won't be able to apply the same kind of pressure on Allen. I think Josh Allen has a very big day, and I think the Buffalo Bills get that win and punch their ticket to the postseason. And in doing so, they resurrect their season and still win the AFC East, despite everything they went through, and I'm including their head coach's moronic comments. Pedro, Chuba Hubbard, or Herbert. Pedro, I'd go Herbert. Herbert will be the better play. Ranger, will Dell be back for Houston's playoff run? No, he has a season-ending injury. That was a devastating injury he suffered. He is done for the year, Ranger, unfortunately. Fotana, flex Eckler, DJ Moore, or Elliott. Fotana, I'd go DJ Moore just barely. I like Elliott's matchup, but the snow and how Bill Belichick might use Kevin Harris has me a bit concerned. So for a number of you, you've heard me kind of steer away from Elliott. I think Elliott could have a good game, but I don't trust him enough in terms of usage. I'd go Moore number 1. Elliott would be 2, but it is DJ Moore as the start for me. Appreciate you guys being with us. We have a caller who wants to join the show. Shelly the Goat is hitting us up on the phone lines. Let's see what Shelly wants to talk about today. If we can pull in the call or if we get the spinning wheel of death. Shelly, looks like we're getting spinning wheel of death right now. So we'll try again in a moment. Maybe hit us up again. Let's see if we can get some callers on the air. If you do want to ask your question live on the air, hit us up as a live guest on TikTok. If you have 1,000 followers on TikTok, you're able to go live. Let's see if we can do that for you. Damian Skyberg, thank you for showing us the love, and thank you for the support you've shown us all year long. It's so wonderful to see so many of these familiar handles, these names that come up every single Sunday and frankly almost every day of the week. You guys have been unbelievably supportive, and we are just so grateful here at Butt Fumble Sports for every single one of you. We hope all of you are having a wonderful day, a wonderful start to your 2024. Can you believe it, everybody? We made it to 2024. Unfortunately, that also means we made it to the end of the NFL regular season, but we have a lot to be thankful for, and we obviously have a lot of opportunities today to cash in on this last week of action. Michael Maven, Raiders defense or Chiefs defense? Ooh, good question. I'm going to say I don't know. That's a great question. I'm going to say Raiders defense. I think the Raiders might be a bit more aggressive. Keep in mind, the Raiders can't make the postseason, but they are playing for Antonio Pierce to seal up that job and become the full-time head coach next year. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a spirited effort from the Raiders. Meanwhile, the Chiefs cannot suffer an injury on that defense. It would be devastating for them, given how important their defense is this year. I'd rather take the Raiders just barely. Randy Kaufman, Green Bay tight end situation is very tricky. Luke Musgrave is back. I do think that hurts Kraft's value. I almost rather go with Luke Musgrave than I would Kraft, but frankly, I'd probably avoid both. J-Mac, Montgomery, Pacheco, or White. Pacheco is not playing today. I expect Pacheco to sit. Given how little depth the Kansas City Chiefs have at the running back position, I expect Pacheco to sit. So by default, I guess it's Montgomery and White, though I don't feel great about that answer. Evan Strom, Hall, or Herbert? Good question. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Herbert, believe it or not. The Packers are a bottom 5 run defense. The Patriots are a top 2 run defense. I'll go Herbert. You guys can hear, I'm very worried about Breece Hall. I could only see his value being there if he gets one of those long rushing touchdowns. Do I think the Patriots allow that? I don't. Tony Salty, start 1, Eckler, Hall, or Ferguson? Man, I think I'd go Eckler out of that group just barely over Ferguson. Greg Red, Laporta, and St. Brown going to play? I haven't heard specifically about St. Brown. Still some questions there. Yeah, I still haven't seen word about whether Amon-Ra St. Brown will play or not. So something you got to be wary of. I think both are tough. Davey, will Pacheco play? I don't think so. Justin Lane, Reed, Lockett, or Brandon Cooks, pick 2. Justin, I'd go Lockett and Cooks. Lockett and Cooks would be the 2 I'd go with. Guys, we are so happy to have you with us. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, welcome into the channel. We are live almost every single day, talking fantasy sports, sports betting, and ranting about the sports world, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you are part of the best community of sports fans across all of social media, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. I did want to talk about something that unfortunately I was unable to hit on yesterday because, we had some things going on with our internet connection. And that is Pat McAfee calling out Norby Williamson, an executive from ESPN. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I actually know Norby Williamson. When I was at ESPN, I got to interview him, meet him, obviously interact with him, and I have my own perspective on this. Do I think Norby Williamson could be the leak that released some of those, what were supposed to be internal ratings numbers around Pat McAfee? Sure. Have no doubt that's a possibility. Do I think Pat McAfee was right to call it out on his show? I guess because it appeases his audience. I think it's stupid to do that in a corporate environment, but Pat McAfee obviously kind of lives outside of that kind of code. However, I do want to say this. Norby Williamson is a fantastic executive. He has produced so many of the shows and content that we have come to love at ESPN. I understand that Pat McAfee and him may not get along. I also think Norby Williamson may have been attached to a number of the on-air personalities that ESPN let go in order to have the budget to sign Pat McAfee last year. But if I had to say one thing, I'd say Pat McAfee, show some respect to Norby Williamson. Yes, he may be the leaker, and I understand why you want to call that out. But Norby Williamson is a fantastic television executive, a fantastic programmer of content. I am obviously a big fan of his and speak well of him now. So I just feel like it was a miss by Pat McAfee. I felt like it was one of those moments in which he forgot that he's actually on ESPN. It's one thing if you want to say that on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, but you're on ESPN because of the investment they've made in you. Sometimes that does come with a code of ethics, like not calling out your boss and calling him a jackass on TV. Just a thought. Ari, Christian Kirk, Diggs over Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to lean towards Christian Kirk just barely. He is getting the start today. Am I a little bit wary of it? Yes, I am. But I do think I would play Christian Kirk. I don't trust Diggs given his performances over the last few weeks. Cam, what's a solid tight end this week? I have Jake Ferguson. I need another option. Well, I do think Jake Ferguson isn't a terrible play. Definitely someone I'd keep my eye on. I think it's an okay start. Some others I would consider. The tight end of the Carolina Panthers. Whoever the backup tight end is for the Cleveland Browns, that could be a good play. I don't think Njoku's going to get a lot of opportunities. Let's see. I think Darren Waller. Darren Waller is a very good start for a number of you out there looking for a tight end. I think Darren Waller, given the matchup against the Eagles, could have a very good game. Okonkwo of the Tennessee Titans. I think Okonkwo could be a very good start against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Other than that, I think it's a very tricky week. I think Gerald Everett could be a good start off the waiver wire. Good, not great, but those are three names that come to mind that you may want to consider moving forward. Guys, if you want all of my bets every single day for free and you don't want to wait for us to give them out, make sure you DM me on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. The name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every single day for free. We give them out for free because we want you to win money. Why? Because Butt Fumble Sports is team cashing tickets. We want you to win money. We want you to succeed. So if you want all the bets that we've researched throughout the week, these are trend-based picks looking at stats, data, analytics, and how the sharp and public money is moving the lines. That's how we come up with our picks every single week. If you want access, DM me on Instagram to get those right now. Damian Skyberg, I'd start James Conner, Achan, and I would go Tony Pollard. Damian Skyberg, Connor, Achan, and Tony Pollard would be the three. Damian, so great to have you with us. Appreciate the support and appreciate the question, of course. If you guys do have a question, feel free to fire away. We'll answer as many as we can over the next, 2 hours and 10 minutes. A lot of shows still ahead of us. Pedro, Chuba Hubbard or Herbert? I would go Herbert, Pedro. I would go Herbert. K-Ski, Ayuk. Don't expect him to play. Garrett Wilson, not very big on him. Addison would be the play for me. K-Ski, it would be Addison. I do think he's the best start of all of them. By the way, Cooper, thanks for hitting me up on Instagram. Cooper wants every bet that I make every single day. There you go. Link and referral code to the SHARPZ app. Despite me being in England, I found a kind of a workaround past DraftKings and some of the other sports books that don't want me betting overseas, so they can't slow me down. They can't stop me for week 18. All of the bets that I like today, game picks, total plays, player prop bets, parlays, round robins, they are all there on the SHARPZ app. So DM me on Instagram. I'll give you the link and referral code so you can see every bet that I made for this NFL Week 18. And that way you can follow along. You can tail, you can fade. That's up to you. But then you know every bet I'm going with. Nolan Kloss, Pollard or Khalil Herbert? I'll go Pollard just barely. Very close. But I think I like Pollard just by a hair. Ben, Laporta or Njoku? Is Njoku going to play? Like really going to play? I wouldn't take that chance if I'm Kevin Stefanski. I don't know why I would risk one of the most important pass catchers, frankly, in the NFL. How Njoku's performed with Joe Flacco over the last month. I would not take a risk on his health. I think Laporta actually might be a better start, but frankly, Ben, I don't have great confidence in either one to play all 4 quarters. Cam, should I start Justin Fields or try to find a different QB? I think Fields could have a decent game, especially in the running game. I don't love him in the passing game, so maybe there are some others, but I don't know how many quarterbacks out there on the waiver wire are going to be much better than Fields, so I might be riding with him. Texas Tejano asks a question that's off the board. Do you think Arch Manning will stay put at UT, or will he consider entering the transfer portal? Frankly, Texas Tejano, I think he's going to stay put for a couple reasons. One, I think the Manning family is trying to instill some kind of different values. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be hopping from place to place to appease Arch Manning. Additionally, I think the fact that we haven't heard anything about Arch Manning entering the portal is a good sign already. There were a lot of players who played either for Alabama or Texas in the college football playoff who have already announced they're going to the league in the draft or they're going to be transferring away from their schools. The fact that we have heard nothing from Arch Manning, I think is a good sign for Longhorn fans. I would not be surprised if he's in the burnt orange to start next year. Mr. Debo, no Kamara today too. There you go, Mr. Debo, no Kamara. I was waiting on word of that. Alvin Kamara. Yep, Alvin Kamara is no play. Oh, it's a game time decision according to some. I'm still seeing game time decision. If you've got an update, Mr. Debo, where'd you see that Alvin Kamara is not playing? I'm still seeing game time decision on Alvin Kamara. Let us know if that's been locked in. I'd be very, very curious about it if Alvin Kamara is officially out. I'm waiting on an Adam Schefter or someone of that kind of stature to give us that final report on it. C-Do, Jets or Patriots defense? I'd go Patriots. Under the radar, Mitchell, Mason, Pierre Strong, are those running backs worth a pickup in your opinion? Yes, I do. I really like Pierre Strong. I think Mason could have a good game. I'm curious to know how much Mitchell plays, but I do like those running backs off the waiver wire. Nick Ambro, Pitts or Ferguson? I think I lean just slightly towards Ferguson, though it's very close. User 85, Noah or Clint? User 85, you're going to have to give me some more information on that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Noah or Clint? I don't think I know a Clint in the NFL, so I don't know if I can help you there. C-Dub, 1974, flex Zeke Elliott, Derrick Henry, or Jordan Addison. I'm going to go Jordan Addison just barely over Zeke Elliott, though it's very, very close. Guys, please don't spam. Please don't spam. If you spam, we are going to mute you, so please don't spam because I don't want to be playing bouncer here on the channel. Alina, Tua or Jordan Love? I'd go Jordan Love. Tua does not have great numbers against the Bills historically, and without Jalen Waddle, much different opportunity for him. So I'd go Jordan Love. Adam, Fields or Love this week? I'd go Jordan Love on that one as well. I think Love's going to have the better day. Dustin, Zamir White or Rashad White? Both are going to be good starts. I'd go Rashad White just barely, and to me, it really is about the consistency that he has had finding the end zone. He has been one of the best players in the league at getting in the end zone over the last few weeks. Carolina Panthers are a bad run defense. They're not as bad as the Denver Broncos, but I still think I like Rashad White just a little bit more. Guys, we've hit 25,000 likes. So I want to give out another pick for all of you guys out there. Now, this is one bet that I am taking a bit of a risk on. I'm going to take the Buccaneers on the money line. I am not taking them on the spread. Hear that again. I am not taking the Buccaneers on the spread. It is a trap. It is a trap. I'm going to take the Buccaneers on the money line. The spread is set for you to lose money. They could hit it, they could miss it, but the trends, the stats, the data, and specifically the sharp money is not giving me good vibes about that Buccaneers spread play. Let's jump over to Outlier and let's see how the public money is coming down on it, and you'll see a bit of what I'm talking about. So, when it comes to where the money line is, the public percentage of bets, they like the Buccaneers. No surprise there. Notice, though, the sharp money, a little bit more wary. They're still favoring the Bucs, but not by much. Not by much. One of the reasons I'm taking that, but not with a high conviction level. However, look at the information around the spread for those on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you're watching on TikTok, listen up. The Buccaneers are getting 58% of the total tickets when it comes to the spread. However, the Carolina Panthers have more money bet on them. Always interesting to see when that dynamic isn't a correlation, when there's more when there's more money going in one direction than the ticket. Always something to watch on. I think that the Panthers could cover the spread, probably closer to like a 6.5, 7. But I'm not taking anything around the Bucs on the spread. I think that is absolutely a trap and absolutely something we should be avoiding today. If you guys want to ask your question live on the air, feel free to hit us up. You can come on as a guest. We'll let you join the show, ask your question. If you want to talk about something, rant about something, or if you have specific questions, more than happy to have all you guests on. So feel free to come on. This is the chance to do so. Chuck Acklin, thanks for your advice this year. Finish strong because of your help. Chuck, appreciate you saying that. Cannot wait to have you with us for next year. Ranger, I think Tampa Bay will win because Baker will get $2 million in doing so. Frankly, I don't necessarily agree with you. I mean, I think the Bucs are going to win, but I don't think incentive has anything to do with it. Baker, when he's been in this position with a chance to close out a Week 18 win or a Week 17 win to clinch the playoff ticket, he's actually been terrible against the spread. Baker Mayfield not as clutch in the pros as he has been in the college game. Hook'em 18. Thoughts on the Saints game? I mentioned this one a little bit earlier. I have the Falcons plus 6.5. Do we like Derek Carr as a favorite? I don't. If I've learned anything historically, Derek Carr is one of the best quarterbacks to fade as a favorite. Could I see the Saints winning? Sure. But I'd rather be on the side of the Falcons to cover than I would be on the side of the Saints on the money line. Chuck Acklin, thanks so much for the roses. We will do another rapid fire when we hit 100 roses, guys. When we hit 30,000 likes, we will also be giving out another pick. So if you guys have questions, but you want to get to them a little bit faster, when we hit that live goal, we'll be doing a rapid fire. Tritty, Laporta, you bunker. Kincaid is garb with Knox back. Okay, Tritty. Michael Maven, Laporta or Kincaid? I would go Kincaid. And for reasons, Tritty can say what he wants. Do I think Laporta is going to play the entirety of that Lions game? I don't. I know it's a better matchup. But I also think that Dan Campbell is going to want to be smart with one of his star players. I think because the Bills are so desperate, I think Kincaid's the better start. So you can listen to Tritty or you can listen to me. We'll find out who's right. Brown Wade, Rashad White or Mike Evans touchdown? I prefer Rashad White. Panthers are terrible against the run. Rashad White has been equally as hot finding the end zone as Mike Evans. I know Mike Evans has been amazing, but Rashad White has been as well over the back half of the season. I'd go Rashad White anytime touchdown. Lauren, Reed or Cameron or Cortland Sutton. If Cortland Sutton's healthy enough to play, I would go Cortland Sutton. Mrs. Lady, Kelsey, I don't expect to be playing. Caden, I'd go Everett. User 503, I'd go Zamir White over Barkley. Dex, I'd go Zamir White over David Montgomery. Dex, appreciate the question. Amanda, Mixon, Hall, Achan, Montgomery, or Zamir White, pick 3. Amanda, I'd go Zamir White. I'd go Achan, and I'm going to say Joe Mixon just barely over Breece Hall. If you guys want to join the show as a guest, feel free to hit us up. More than happy to take callers. If you guys want to ask your question live on the air, hit us up, be a guest. Love to have some conversation with you guys. By the way, what did you think of my Pat McAfee, Norby Williamson take? Do you agree with it? Was Pat in the right? Or was he being a douche? I think he was being a douche. That's my take on it. By the way, I'm seeing breaking news from Ian Rappaport that the Jets are most likely trading Zach Wilson. Yeah, duh. They're not going to keep Zach Wilson. They've pretty much thrown this guy away mid-season. I'm just curious to know who's going to trade anything for him. Here, I'll give you a bag of peanuts. Oh, wait, you can't take that anywhere anymore. I'll give you a bag of raisins. You can have that for Zach Wilson. Tyler Ola, up 40, but started Pickens last night. I told you guys to avoid him. Pickens, yikes. How does CeeDee Lamb do today? I do think CeeDee Lamb will find the end zone. In fact, because we're almost to 30,000 likes, we're not quite there, but I'm going to give out another pick for you guys. I am going to take CeeDee Lamb over half an anytime touchdown. Frankly, it's been such a good, consistent play. No reason for me to stop it now. I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb on an anytime touchdown. That is the next pick we just put up on the big board. For those that are just new to the show, the picks we've given out so far: Titans plus 6.5, Falcons plus Titans plus 7 rather, Falcons plus 6.5, Browns and Bengals under 41, Bills on the money line, Buccaneers on the money line, Rachaad White anytime touchdown, Josh Allen to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and CeeDee Lamb to score an anytime touchdown as well. Those are the picks we've given out so far. If you guys want every bet that I make every single day for free, Free free, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. We give away all of our picks for free. You can see them all. They're all on the SHARPZ app right now. So DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a link, a referral code, and that way you can see every game pick, total play, parlay, player prop, round robin. Every bet that I make every day automatically shows up on the SHARPZ app. So if you want to follow all of my bets, you can follow them, you can fade them. But if you want to see them, DM me on Instagram right now, and that way you can get access to that as soon as possible. Shadow2H, TH, who do you got winning the Super Bowl right now? I have the Baltimore Ravens. Do I feel great about that? No, because Lamar Jackson has not had a lot of success in the postseason. However, this is a different Lamar Jackson because he has Zay Flowers, because he does have Odell Beckham Jr. And frankly, the Ravens are the best defense in the NFL right now. I know the Browns are statistically, but if you've seen the defenses that the Ravens have played over the last month and how they've performed, I think the Ravens are the most postseason ready team. I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. And one thing I'll also say to you guys, now that we only have that 1 seed with the bye, getting that number 1 seed is usually a very clear path to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to change the dynamic of the playoffs because getting that bye, having the extra week of rest, and obviously being at home for every game, the 2 games you need to win to go to the Super Bowl, I think the Ravens at home are as tough a team to play as anybody. I have the Ravens going and winning the Super Bowl. DTK Frenchies, Tua or Justin Fields? DTK, I'd go Justin Fields, buddy. Justin Fields. Seb, Baker, Geno, I'd go Geno Smith. Seb, I'd go Geno Smith. Paul, Elliott or Addison, really, really tough for me. If you want to take Elliott, I totally get it. I'm riding with Addison just because I'm a little bit worried that Elliott's usage is going to go down and they're going to give Kevin Harris, the backup, more opportunities. I think Addison's a slightly better play, Paul, but I understand the Jets are a really bad run defense, so if you want to take Elliott, I get it. Keep in mind, Kevin Harris might be a nice pickup off the waiver wire. The Huss House, Diggs, Henry, or Mason in the flex. I'd go Stephon Diggs. I just think he's the best play out of that group, given I don't really know what Mason's overall snap count is going to be. I'm not big on Derrick Henry. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're a good enough run defense, and I just don't know what I'm quite getting from Derrick Henry at this point. David, Achan, Ridley, or Eckler, pick 2. David, I'd go Achan and Ridley. Achan and Ridley would be the 2. Hector Gonzalez, Adam Thielen, or Drake London? Adam Thielen would be the play for me. Hector Gonzalez, I'll go with Adam Thielen. Appreciate you guys hitting us up with the roses. Every time we hit 100 roses, we do a rapid fire. What's rapid fire? I answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can, as long as I can. So if you want to do a rapid fire, hit us up with that live goal. Gavin, Aaron Jones or Zamir White? It's Zamir White for me. I prefer the matchup. Aaron Jones, not a favorable matchup against those Chicago Bears and that fierce run defense. Chase or Reed? I'd go Chase. As long as Chase is going to play, I'd go Chase. I don't like Reed's matchup as much. You know I loved him last week. I'm not big on him this week. Appreciate you guys being with us no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Hit that follow button, everybody. If you love the content, if you love the conversation, make sure you follow us. Just because this is the end of the NFL regular season does not mean this is the end of Butt Fumble Sports. We are going to be live as many days of 2024 as we can. Talking fantasy sports, talking sports betting, ranting about the sports world, and sure, we'll always be talking NFL because we live in the United States and the NFL is king. But there are also fantasy football things to consider even in the off season. I know a number of you guys are in dynasty leagues. Some of you guys have drafts where you're looking at rookies. You're looking at keeper leagues where you're trying to resort things out. So if you guys want to talk fantasy football in April, May, June, and July, I'm all for it. I'm going to be here almost every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Because if you guys don't know it, I love talking sports with you all year long. It doesn't end today. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you are part of the best community of sports fans across the entire world. John Gonzalez lost week 17 because I started Cook over Connor, playing for third place now. Yeah, I wasn't big on James Cook last week. That said, I did not expect James Conner to have the performance he did. James Conner was fantastic last week, John. Really sorry that's ultimately what kept you from winning the title. Real Peasy, I'd go Olave over Puka. Olave over Puka, Real Peasy. Thanks for the question. Caden, I'd go Everett. Caden, I'd go Gerald Everett. Alex Holding, is Chase worth playing today? I actually think he is a decent play today, in part because I don't expect the Browns to be starting a lot of their defensive stars. I do think there's an opportunity for him to have a pretty good game. I do want to call out the weather. I do want to mention the weather to you guys because for a number of you, the weather is going to impact your fantasy football starts and sits. So just a quick rundown of the weather that we have across the league. Bengals and Browns in Cincinnati. Going to be a slight chance of rain. Little windy, very cold. That said, shouldn't be too bad. Vikings, Lions, obviously played in a dome. Jaguars and Titans, small chance of rain. 44 degrees, low on wind, weather won't impact that one. The big one that's going to be an impactor, Jets, Patriots, a ton of snow. They're expecting at least 8 inches of snow in New England and heavy wind gusts. I'm hearing could be as high as 30 miles per hour on the wind. So guys, beware of that. Definitely a play for the under. And one of the reasons we like the defenses. Bucks and Panthers, plenty of sun in that one. 51 degrees in Carolina. Should actually be a beautiful day for that game. However, some wind in that one, expecting about 15 miles per hour, so a little bit of wind in Bucks and Panthers. Falcons and Saints are, of course, in a dome. Bears and Packers, mostly cloudy there at Lambeau, 34 degrees, but shouldn't have a bad weather. Raiders are playing in Vegas against the Broncos. Eagles and Giants, not the snow that they're getting up in New England. New York's expected to get some rain. 35 degrees, 7 mile per hour winds, so the weather not too bad. And then Cardinals, Chargers, they're both playing in the dome. 49ers, beautiful day out there in San Francisco, 52 degrees and clear. Cowboys in Washington, again sunny, 46 degrees, but 19 mile per hour winds. So Commanders could be a windy day, just something to consider. And Bills, Dolphins down in South Beach, should be a beautiful night for football there. So the ones you want to consider the most when it comes to weather are Browns and Bengals because of the rain, Jets and Patriots because a snowstorm is blowing through there, and you might want to be a little bit careful about that Eagles-Giants game as well. JP, I am not taking the Lions on the spread. JP, you're asking a lot of questions about favorites on the spread. Be careful, JP. I think you're falling right into some traps. The Lions have a reason to win today, but I think the Lions need to be much smarter about how they use their starters. The Vikings actually have more to almost play for, given a lot of those guys are trying to put together tape to be on an NFL roster next year. I think the Lions may be in heavy rest mode in the second half. So JP specifically, you're asking about a lot of favorites on the spread, buddy. Be careful. I feel like you might be walking into a Vegas sportsbook trap. Tony, Eckler, Christian Watson, start one. I'd probably go Christian Watson. I don't feel great about it, but I think I'd go Watson barely. Caden, Herbert, Hall, or Zamir White. Caden, I'd go Zamir White. Zamir White would be the play for me. We have just hit 30, when we hit 35,000 likes, we've hit 30,000 likes previously, but when we hit 35,000 likes, we will be giving out another one of our picks. So if you want another pick given out for free, make sure you get us up to 35,000 likes. That's when the next pick comes up. Under the radar, I think Kamara will be out. Jamal Williams just boosted up. Sounds like it. A number of you guys will kind of let me know Alvin Kamara is probably going to be out for this game. I'm still waiting on official word about it. Haven't heard it just yet. Oh, I'm hearing it from Underdog NFL. Do I trust Underdog? I don't know. I'm hearing he's not going to play, but I haven't seen it from a verified account yet. Let's put it that way. I'm seeing it from some people where it's like, do I really trust it? I think a lot of people are speculating. I think they're probably right, but I haven't seen it from a reporter that I really trust. So before I do, I don't want to give you guys a false impression. You probably should have Kamara on your bench right now, but I'll wait to give you definitive word about whether Kamara is playing or not. Brendan, start Pacheco? No. Pacheco, I don't think is going to play. I think Swift is the best start out of all the running backs you name there. I'd go Swift 1, Herbert 2, but Pacheco is absolutely a sit. And then between Reed and Diggs, I'd go Diggs just barely. I know he's been on the struggle bus, but I prefer his matchup as opposed to Reed. Ari, Chuba Hubbard, Ferguson, Diggs, or Christian Kirk. Ari, if Christian Kirk is starting for the Jaguars, I'm starting Christian Kirk. I think he's the best play out of that group. Mari, how do you think the Steelers are playing? Frankly, I think the Steelers have found something in Mason Rudolph. Do I think he's the long-term solution? Of course not. But I think Mason Rudolph is doing something that neither Kyle Pickett, nor Mitch Trubisky could do. That's throw the ball down the field. Mason Rudolph found ways to get his wide receivers the ball down the field, and frankly, it actually opened up the secondary in a lot of ways for some of those long touchdown runs that we saw. I think Mason Rudolph was the right substitution. I give Mike Tomlin a lot of credit for making that move, not bringing back Pickett too soon. So I think the Steelers are playing well, but I also mentioned this. If TJ Watt's not able to play next week, I really don't want to see the Steelers play because they're a much different team, and I do think they'll suffer a quick L if he's not in the lineup. Brendan, Taysom Hill or Everett. Kamara being injured doesn't really impact my thinking on Taysom Hill other than in the red zone a little bit. Frankly, Jamal Williams is a great start in the red zone if he does play. So I'd go Gerald Everett. Brendan, I'd go Gerald Everett. Caden, Hall, Herbert, Montgomery, start two. I'd probably go Herbert, and I think I'd go Montgomery, Caden. I don't like Hall's matchup against the New England Patriots. Real peasy, I'd go Fields over Mayfield. Fields over Mayfield. That's the one I'd be going with. If you guys have a fantasy football question and you want to join the show live on the air, hit us up. Butt Fumble Sports loves hearing from you guys, talking to you guys about who you're starting, who you're sitting, who you want to play today. Let's go to I Catch Fish. Let's see if we can get I Catch Fish on the air. I Catch Fish, what's good?
Hey, good morning, good morning.
How you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. I already won my ship, man. I just want to say thanks and good luck to everybody today.
Oh my God, won the ship. Was it a close one or did you blow them out?
So it came down to Eckler versus Jaden Reed at the last games. And then we were even after Eckler fumbled. And then Jaden Reed went off for the first half and then went out of the game. And his first catch already won. So I'm happy you played that first half.
Yeah, I am as well for your sake. He had a monster game last week. I Catch Fish, congratulations on the championship. Any other questions you got for us?
No, man, I just appreciate all your help all season. I hope these guys take your advice here too, and good luck to y'all today.
I love hearing from you, I Catch Fish. Can't wait to talk to you in the off season. Hopefully you'll join us then. Plenty of subjects to talk about as we do head into the NFL off season for a lot of you guys. D. Turner! What's good, D. Turner? Great to see you. One of our most loyal followers and one of our best supporters. D. Turner, no matter where you're watching the world, I hope you're having a great NFL Sunday. Really appreciate you and glad you won at least a couple of your championships. JT, thanks so much for the support. Great to see you in the show. Let's answer D. Turner's question. I should bench my whole team since I have an 80-point lead after Collins and Taylor. Clearly, two good starts. I love Nico Collins yesterday. I didn't see Jonathan Taylor having that kind of performance. He balled the hell out. So D. Turner sitting pretty going into the final Sunday of the season. DK Frenchies, I'd go Bengals defense. I know that's a bad defense all year long, but I don't think Joe Flacco's playing. And 49ers defense, I think they're going to sit a lot of their starters. Why would they risk a number of their star players? DTK Frenchies, I think I'd go Bengals, but I don't have great conviction on it. Let's see 81. Ferguson or Laporta? I'd go Ferguson. Just barely. Hank the Tank. Let's get up to Hank the Tank. It jumped on us. Oh, we just did our live goal. We're going to have to do another rapid fire. Hank the Tank, we'll get to you in rapid fire. For all of those that are just joining the show, first of all, where you been? Butt Fumble Sports is live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So wonderful to have you with us on this final NFL Sunday, regular season Sunday of the year. Single tier. With that said, we're going to do a rapid fire. Rapid fire is where I answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can, as long as I can. Here's the only thing I've asked of you. If you're watching on TikTok, tap the screen. As long as I see those hearts climbing up the TikTok screen, I will not stop answering your questions. So as long as I see the hearts, rapid fire rolls on. You guys ready? Index fingers good to go? We will start rapid fire. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rapid fire engage. Let's go, everybody. Gabe, I'm up 70 against the best team in the league, and I've got a lot of backups in. Gabe, we're rooting for you. Howell, Geno Smith or Kyler Murray? I'm going Geno Smith by a small margin. Very close, though. G, pick 2. Bijan, Hall, Gibbs, Pollard. G, I go Bijan, Robinson, and Pollard. Bijan and Pollard would be the 2 for me. Brendan, Tucker Kraft, don't like him as much. Now that Luke Musgrave is back off the IR, I'd go Gerald Everett. Brendan, I'd go Gerald Everett. Jacob Vines, great to see you. I'd go White. Whether it's Zamir or Rashad, Jacob Vines, I'd go White. D. Turner, I'd go Raiders. I think I'd go Raiders defense just barely over the Bengals. Real Peasy, Laporta, Waller, or Munt. I'd go Waller. Real Peasy, I'd go Waller. Samuel Lance, I'd go Christian Kirk. Under the radar, I do like Pierre Strong, but I like DeAndre Swift more. Swift would be the play for me. And 000, I'd go Addison over Strong just barely. Addison over Strong, very close though. Eric Rodriguez, I'd go Godwin over Hubbard. Barack, who you got, Dolphins or Bills? I got the Bills. I think the Bills win on the money line. Alex, if you want all my bets, DM me on Instagram. I give them away for free. DM me on Instagram. Mr. Debo, Eckler or Pollard? I'd go Pollard maybe by a small margin. Drew, good morning to you. Can we get some locks? Drew, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you my picks for free. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me now. John Flanagan, I'd go Dortch. Justin Lane, Joshua Palmer worth the start today. I don't think it's a terrible idea, actually. It could be a decent one. Jacob Vines, I'd go Zamir White. Joe Love, I think I'd go Breece Hall. Breece Hall barely over Gibbs, but I don't feel great about it. I feel like that's a tricky one. DTK, I'd go Zamir White and Walker. Zamir White and Kenneth Walker. Really, really like those two. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Oh. My computer was just about to die, and I want to make sure we avoid that. Leroy, I'd go James Cook. Rob, Saints or Raiders defense? I'm going to go just barely towards the... Man, I don't feel good about either one. I'll go Raiders defense, believe it or not. I'll go Raiders defense, and I'll go Cooks. Raiders defense and Brandon Cooks. Evan Owens, I'd go Zamir White. Sam Mallard, I'd go Raiders. Sam the Duck, I'd go Raiders. Andrew, I'd go Swift over Zeke. Andrew, Swift over Zeke. Ari, I'd go Ridley, and I'd go Brandon Cooks. I think barely over Diggs. Ridley and Cooks would be the play. G, I'd go Love over Murray. G, Love over Murray. B Cal 19, I'd go Geno Smith. B Cal 19, I'd go Geno. Mr. Debo, Patriots -2.5. Looks like a safe play against the spread. I take him on the money line just to be really safe. Topango, Devontae Adams, Elliott, Hopkins in the flex for the championship. Who would you take? I'm going to go Hopkins just barely over Adams. I think both are very good plays. I actually would like to start both of them, Adams and Hopkins, if you could. Brian, Pierre Strong or Kirk? I'll go Christian Kirk if he's healthy enough to go. Lamar Jackson replacement? Why do if you had to go with a replacement for Lamar Jackson, if Kyler Murray was out there on the waiver wire, I absolutely would try and scoop him up. Other than that, really, really tricky. I'll say this, Bryce Young has a favorable matchup against the Bucs. Doesn't mean I necessarily go with him, but he does have a favorable matchup. Geno Smith, if he's available, would be someone I'd go after. The starting quarterback of the Titans, Will Levis, or if it's Ryan Tannehill, either one. I like the Titans quarterback a little bit against the Jaguars, but not too many quarterbacks I really trust today. Joe Love, I'd go Joe Love. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards the Raiders over the Bears. Very, very close. Very close. But I think Jordan Love has a good enough game where I don't like the Bears as much as I want to. Under the radar, my concern is Swift is most likely the Cowboys are beaten. I'm not as worried about that. I do think that the Cowboys win, but still I think Swift's going to get plenty of touches. Connor Cornell, thoughts on Taysom Hill? I think he's a decent start, but I'm not crazy about him. Jet, Chuba Hubbard or Zeke? Jet, I'd go Zeke. Jet, I'd go Zeke. Real Peasy, I'd go Patriots defense. Real Peasy, Patriots defense. Guys, don't spam the chat. Jet, specifically, I'm calling you out, buddy. Don't spam the chat. I gotta mute you for a few minutes. Please don't spam the chat. Just prevents others from getting their question, and that's not fair. Braden, I'd go Zamir White. Braden, Zamir White. Jose Miguel, I'd go Zamir White. Jose Miguel, Zamir White. Gabe, I'd go Greg Dortch. Gabe, I'd go Greg Dortch. Mike, I'd go Thielen over Reed. Mike, Thielen over Reed. Blake, I'd go... Blake, what are you talking about here? Don't waste our time, buddy. Appreciate you being with us, but we're good, thanks. User 7795, I think I'd lean just slightly towards Tua over Baker. Do I feel good about that? No, but I really don't like either one of them. Both are facing defenses that they just don't play well against. Amanda, Puka or Jacoby Myers. I think I'd go Jacoby Myers just barely. Maybe Demarcus Robinson's a good pickup, but I think Jacoby Myers is the better play out of everyone you mentioned. If you have a question, fire away. We are done with rapid fire, guys. The end of the heart's going up the screen. So we are done with our rapid fire. I'm going to set that live goal. So if you guys want to get back to rapid fire, we can do it lickety-split. But we're going to get back to answering your questions no matter the platform. We're going to take our time on these. But if you do want to do another rapid fire, we will set the new live goal. And that way you guys can get there if you want to. Again, if you want all of the picks that I give out every single day, DM me on Instagram, just like Devin. Devin hit me up on Instagram. He wants every bet that I made today. Devin, you just got the link and referral code. Zachary, Zach Z Boogie, Zachary, you just got a link and referral code for every bet that I made for today, so you can see those picks for free. For all of those that don't want to hit me up on Instagram, first of all, you're missing out. But second of all, we are going to give out another free pick right now. Let's go back to our player prop bets. Player prop bets. By the way, Shanda the Wine Panda, thank you so much. Great to see you in the show. Okay, guys, we are going to give away another pick right now, a player prop bet. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I like Jordan Love today. I'm going to take him over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I do like Jordan Love finding the end zone. Bears are a good run defense, so if there are going to be touchdowns, I think it's Love through the air. That's the best one. Appreciate you guys being with us. Love having you here for this final NFL regular season Sunday. By the way, that doesn't mean Butt Fumble Sports is going anywhere. I started this company because I love talking sports every single day with real sports fans just like yourself. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and just know we're not going anywhere. We're doing this every single day we can. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you're part of the best community of sports fans on all of social media. Real Peasy, do you think CeeDee Lamb will get rested? Maybe in the second half, but even by then, I think he could put up some stats. Ethan, I'd go DK over Mike Evans. Ethan, DK over Mike Evans. Tyler Ola, is Jamar Williams worth a start over Zeke? It's close. I might like Zeke Elliott a little bit more. I understand no Kamara, but the Falcons aren't a terrible run defense. That's actually the thing that has me kind of hesitant. They're a middle of the pack run defense. If you wanted to start Jamal Williams, Tyler Ola, I got it. I'd be okay with it, actually. Tyler, I'd be okay with it if you did it. Shonk 13, I'd go Jamal Williams over Jones and Mason. That I would do. Parker Bledsoe, I'd go Ridley. Parker Bledsoe, I'd go Calvin Ridley. Matt DeBald, I'd go Thielen. Matt DeBald, I'd go Thielen. Shanda the Wine Panda, thanks so much. Great to see you. Love seeing our logo in the chat. Thanks to you. Zach, you messaged me on Instagram. You want to get every bet I make every day? Zach, I see it, and I'm giving you the link and referral code right now. Again, guys, if you're like Zach and you hit me up on Instagram, I'll give you every pick I made today, and I make every day for free. So just DM me on Instagram. Matt, you're getting picks today. You know it. Hayden, Ty Chandler, Hubbard, or Pierre Strong. Hayden, I'd go Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong's actually the player I like the most out of the ones you mentioned. Majomes, Commanders money line. I wouldn't do that. I'm not taking the Commanders on the money line. No. Majomes, you hope that scotch is tasty. Am I drinking scotch? I thought I was drinking this sparkling water. CCE, do I think Mitchell or Mason's going to get the bulk of the touches? I think it's going to be Mason. I think if I were Kyle Shanahan, I wouldn't risk my running backs. I wouldn't risk any players that may have actual importance in the playoffs. I think Jordan Mason could actually get the most carries today. Hank the Tank, Dak or Murray? I'm going to say Dak just barely. He's got the better matchup. I understand Dak could get pulled maybe in the second half, so if you're concerned about that, Hank, maybe you go Murray, because I think Murray's going to play almost the entire game. But frankly, I do like Dak. Majomes, that's some clear scotch. I think they call that gin. Ready Player One, Achan, White, Hall, Jones. Pick two, please. Ready Player One, I'd go Achan and White. Achan and White would be the two. Garrett Chase, I'd go Achan over Derrick Henry. Achan over Derrick Henry. Braden, I'd go Achan out of that group. Braden, I'd go Achan. CCE, I do like Jamal Williams. The more I consider it, the better the play is, in part because I think he's going to get red zone opportunities. So I do like Jamal Williams probably more as I consider it as you guys bring it up. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you guys DM me on Instagram, you get every bet that I make every single day. So make sure you hit me up. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram to get every bet I make, or you can just check the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ is a sports betting app that aggregates all your picks. So no matter the sports book you use, DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, whatever, Bet ESPN, every time you place a bet, it automatically aggregates to the app. That way, followers of you, other sports fans, other sports bettors can see the bets you're making. They can comment on them. They can like them. They can fade them. So if you want to see every bet I make every day, check them out on the SHARPZ app. One feature I really like, say there's a parlay that you really like that I made. You don't want to make that parlay pick by pick on your own. That's a pain in the butt fumble. So what you can do is you can literally hit a tail button, and that way it automatically takes you to your sports book and populates the same parlay I made right in your sports book. It's like having someone put together your entire shopping cart for you before you arrive and just put it all in the cart, so all you have to do is check out. Pretty nice system they have over there on SHARPZ. Real Peasy, I'd go Jamal Williams over Strong. Jamal Williams over Strong just barely. T-Tap, Amon-Ra St. Brown and DK getting one touchdown each. I like DK getting one more than St. Brown. Don't know how I feel about St. Brown getting a touchdown, but DK Metcalf, I feel good about that. Doghouse Breaks, Mike Evans over 64 receiving yards. Let's take a quick look at that one. We're going to jump on over to the Outlier app. If you guys don't know Outlier, it's a sports betting research tool that we use every day here to determine what are the best trends, best bets we can make every single day. Let's take a look at Mike Evans and specifically on over receiving yards. Now, I kind of knew where this one was going to go, but I wanted to show you guys the stats on the screen. The Carolina Panthers are the number one pass defense in the NFL when it comes to receiving yards. And when it comes to wide receivers, they're actually the third best pass defense in the NFL. So something to be aware of. Carolina Panthers have actually been a really good pass defense. However, head-to-head against the Carolina Panthers, Mike Evans has gone over 74. He's actually gone over 80 yards in 4 straight games against the Carolina Panthers. So, if you think trends continue, kind of like what we saw Jonathan Taylor against the Texans, you like Mike Evans over the 64. If you're like me, you're a little bit wary about it. In part because on the road, Mike Evans has not hit that over very frequently. Only 3 times in his last 10 games. So personally, I wouldn't take the over 64.5. If I were to take it anywhere, I might buy this down to 49.5. That has a greater chance of hitting. I'm just a little bit worried about it simply because he hasn't done it a lot on the road. He's facing a good pass defense. I understand the trends are there, but this is a much different Carolina Panthers pass defense. I think I'd avoid Mike Evans on receiving yards. Where I do like him is more on an anytime touchdown. Why? Because the dude has been cashing tickets on anytime touchdowns almost as frequently as anyone in the NFL. Carolina gives up a lot of touchdowns, not many to wide receivers, but I do think Mike Evans' anytime touchdown is still probably a pretty good play. Diego is beast. I took Chris Godwin over 51.5 receiving yards. That's an interesting one. JP, if he plays, do you like Reed anytime touchdown? I'm not crazy about it. I think Jaden Reed had his big week last week. I'm not as high on it. SJ, I'd go Herbert. SJ, I'd go Herbert. CCE, I'd go Jamal Williams. CCE, I'd go Jamal Williams. Majomes, why wasn't that ball last night thrown to Jonathan Taylor or Pittman? I believe Pittman might have been out of the game with injury at that point. Jonathan Taylor, maybe he's just not the running back they go to in those situations. I understand Goodson it's kind of surprising he got the ball. But to be fair, if Gardner Minshew throws a better ball, I think he probably catches it. We're going to make it about the running back dropping that pass last night. I don't think that's fair. I actually put it on Gardner Minshew. If you saw the play, Gardner Minshew didn't have a defender that he had to throw around. He had open space. He just threw it to the wrong side of the running back. I actually think Gardner Minshew, he's the one to blame. Not that I don't like Gardner Minshew, and not that I'm for throwing blame around, but I think that running back is going to get a lot of unnecessary hate, when in reality, he had to make a pretty tough play, turning his body to make the catch. He was already kind of falling down. I feel like it was Gardner Minshew actually failed the Indianapolis Colts more than the running back dropping the ball. What do you guys think? Who do you blame? Diego is beast is asking about Tyler Algier. Let's go back to Outlier and let's look at Tyler Algier rushing plus receiving yards. Interesting that you want both the rushing and the receiving yards in this one. If we look at it, it's set at 36.5. It has been incredibly consistent. Tyler Algier has been a sneaky good waiver wire play for much of the season. You can see he's hit the over on this in 6 of his last 7 games. If we look at it specifically on the road, it's been an okay trend. 3 out of the last 4, 4 out of the last 6. One thing you want to note, the running backs against the New Orleans Saints better on the ground than they are in the receiving game. I actually think I like Tyler Algier on his rushing yards. I don't know how I feel about rushing plus receiving. I like the rushing yards total. This has been very consistent. You can see 8 out of the last 10 games, he has gone over 30.5 rushing yards. Love seeing that. If we look at it on the road, pretty consistent as well. 4 out of the last 6. I like this play. How has he done historically against the Saints on the road? He has a massive game last year. And if we look at it, last 2 starts he's gone over this. I'm going to put this one up on my big board. If you guys want to buy it down, I get it. But 28.5, I think that's what I'd take it at right now. Let's put that one up on the big board. That's one I didn't have before the show, so I'll put an asterisk just so you guys know it. Tyler Algier over 28.5 rushing yards. I think that's a really strong play, actually. So, thanks for the advice there, Diego. Wasn't the one you put out there, but it is a bet that I think I like. I like the rushing yards more than the rushing plus receiving, but not a bad idea. Pablito, ¿qué pasa, mi amigo? Any good wide receivers you recommend picking up? Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton might be a really good pickup today. I also think Adam Thielen, if he's available, he would be someone that I would be considering as well. Brandon Cooks, if he's available in your league. Maybe this is a Michael Gallup week as well. Do I have great confidence in that? Not necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, Drew, you hit me up on Instagram asking if I have any locks. One thing Butt Fumble Sports will never ever give you is a lock. We'll give you one of our favorite bets. We'll give you a high confidence level bet. Locks are a sucker's term. Is there anything in this world we can consider a lock? No. I will never say a pick of mine is a lock because one, I don't think they exist, and two, I think it gives all of you an unnecessary level of certainty. There are a lot of people on social media who now do what we do, giving out sports betting advice, and I know a lot of them use the term lock. I'll let them do that and then pay the price for it, literally pay the price for it when they're wrong. Drew, I give out picks. If I'm making a pick, I have a high confidence level in it. I do have a favorite bet of the day. I'll give that out in a little bit. But that said, do I ever have a lock? Absolutely not, because I think it is one of the worst terms. It suggests you can't lose. You can't miss. If we know anything about sports, anybody can win. Anybody can lose. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. I think locks is how you lose your money because you put in too much without really having an understanding of how sports betting works. So guys, I don't give out locks. If you want locks, go elsewhere. If you want really well-informed and well-researched bets, please stay on the channel. Ryan, Pierre Strong, Derrick Henry, or Chandler. I think I'd go Pierre Strong, Ryan. It's a close play, but I think I'd go Pierre Strong. Randy, I'd go Okonkwo. Randy, I'd go Okonkwo. Ready Player One, last one for the ultimate win for the championship. Let's go, Ready Player One. I'd go A.J. Brown. It's very close between DJ Moore and A.J. Brown. The big concern is DJ Moore. I know he's been phenomenal when he's had Justin Fields on the field with him, but the one time it didn't work out, it was against the Packers earlier this year. Is there something to that? Do the Packers know how to cover DJ Moore better than everybody else? I think A.J. Brown, he's going to get the opportunities. No Devontae Smith today, so I do like A.J. Brown a little bit more than I like DJ Moore. A.J. Brown over DJ Moore. Jorge, I do like Kenneth Walker, buddy. I do like Kenneth Walker. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the show. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. It is wonderful having you guys with us for this final NFL Sunday of the season. Regular season, that is. Brendan, Herbert or Swift? I'm probably leaning towards Swift. I'd go Swift and Diggs. I understand why some are saying Herbert, though, because they're worried that Swift might not get the opportunities today. But I do like Swift and Diggs. You think the Falcons will beat the Saints? Q-Dog, I am nervous about that one if I'm a Saints fan. I took the Falcons to cover plus 6.5. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think that's a very close game. One thing I will always warn you guys about, Derek Carr is a favorite. Yikes. Someone to avoid. Tyler Miles, long question. If the Bears end up losing to the Packers, do you think they would trade Justin Fields? I don't think so for two reasons. One, inside the organization, specifically inside the locker room, I think there's a lot of momentum to keep Justin Fields. I think actually the fact that DJ Moore came out and said, I want Justin Fields does play a positive factor in them retaining and keeping Justin Fields. And additionally, the fan base wants it. And at this point, if you're the Chicago Bears leadership, listen to your locker room, listen to the fans, because you can't go wrong. If you get rid of Justin Fields, he succeeds elsewhere, and you get some rookie quarterback that actually sets you back. I think the fan base would light Soldier Field on fire. If I were the Bears, I'd be riding with Justin Fields. By the way, Josiah, thanks for DMing me on Instagram. You just got the link and referral code for every bet I make every day. So Josiah, you hit me up, you get my picks. If you guys want every bet I make every single day, DM me on Instagram, everybody. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. We give our picks away for free. Doghouse Breaks is asking about Jordan Love and his passing yards total. Let's take a look at that one. Interesting question. I talked about it a little bit earlier. In fact, I gave out the pick. I like Jordan Love over 1.5 passing touchdowns. But you're asking specifically about passing yards. It's set right now at 250.5. Interesting. Over on Outlier, the implied probability is actually the same between the Bears and between the over and the under on this one. Now, the over has been a pretty strong play of late. It's cashed in 6 out of his last 8 games. One of those that didn't cash was against the Panthers. I mentioned really good pass defense there, so it's actually a positive statement about that. Now, the Bears are 22nd in the NFL when it comes to defending passing yards, so not too good. Feel good about that. This moved. It opened at 243.5 and has moved up to 250.5. That might be a bit of a trap for me. If I could take this anywhere, I'd probably take it at its original line, something like 246.5. But even better, right now, this is available at over 224.5 at minus 200. Some of you guys may not like minus 200 odds. I totally get that. But I'm team cashing tickets here at Butt Fumble Sports. I'd rather win than sweat out a bet. Jordan Love, over 224 passing yards, to over 224.5 passing yards, has hit in 8 of the last 10 games. I really like this play. This is the one I'd be going with against the Bears earlier this year. This one cashed. That's what I'm riding with, everybody. So I will put this one up on my big board as well. That is Jordan Love over 224.5 passing yards. Again, if you wanted to take it a touch higher, I get it. I'm just telling you where I would place the bet. But I do like Jordan Love over his passing yard total, especially at that alternative line Doghouse breaks. Wes Wantland, McLaurin or Jaden Reed? I think I'd go McLaurin, actually. Jaden Reed does not have a great matchup today against the Bears defense. On the other side, McLaurin has a number of contract incentives that I think he's going to be trying to hit today, so I do like McLaurin just a little bit. Jack Golson, I'd go D-Hop over Jamar Chase. D-Hop over Jamar Chase. Frankie Trey, who you starting? Ayuk, Mostert, or Brian Robinson? Well, Mostert's not playing. I don't think Ayuk's going to play very much. I think Brian Robinson purely by default, Frankie. I think that's where you got to go. Jorge, you subscribe to our newsletter. You know where I'm going with that bet. You know what I like in that one. CCE, I'd go Chase Brown or take Mixon. I think it's an interesting call. I might lean slightly towards Mixon just because the touchdown opportunity, but I understand why you're thinking Chase Brown. Tyler Ola, final question? Oh, wow, final question. Pierre Strong, Jamal Williams, Herbert, or Hubbard? I'd go Jamal Williams, and I'd go Pierre Strong. I know Zeke has a favorable matchup. I'm a little bit worried about it. Tyler Ola, I'd go Pierre Strong and Jamal Williams. Diego is beast. Jerry Jeudy, 35.5 receiving yards. Let's take a quick look at it. Let's jump on over back to Outlier. We'll get back to some of these fantasy questions in 1 second. Let's take a look at Jerry Jeudy on his receiving yards total. Set at 35.5. Has been a very good overplay when it comes to the trend. Not a great matchup. The Raiders are the 10th best defense in the league at defending wide receivers when it comes to receiving yards, something to be wary of. However, the trends have been there, even against some good defenses like the Patriots. I actually think this is a pretty good bet. This is cashed in 7 of the last 10 games, 4 of the last 5. Now, it's set at 35.5. If I move that down, there isn't a good alternative line on it, so you'd have to take it there. I'm okay with this bet. I'm not going to put it up on my big board, but if you did want to take Jerry Jeudy over receiving yards total, I don't think it's a terrible play. Appreciate you guys being with us no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Wonderful to have you with us. Under the radar, I love what you're thinking. Tyrod Taylor could have a good day. Wan'Dale Robinson could be worth the flyer. The Eagles' pass defense, their secondary has been terrible. No Slay today, no Darius Slay, no surprise there. But I do like the idea of picking up some of those guys. Tamia Lima, I'm going to go Ferguson just barely over Everett. Tamia Lima, Ferguson just barely over Everett. Scott, I'd go Sutton over Puka. I would go Sutton over Puka just barely. Joey Stromboli, I'd go Zamir White. Joey, I'd go Zamir White over Brian Robinson. Big Uzi, do you like Spears today with the absence of Derrick Henry and Chase with resting the Browns? Is Derrick Henry out today? Did they rule him out? this is the tricky part of this day, which is trying to find out who's going to play, who's not going to play. Is Derrick Henry out? I haven't been giving you guys him as a play. I still think he's playing. I haven't seen anything that says he's out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's still playing in that one. So I haven't heard that he's out, no. User 503, is Diggs going to fall on his face? No, I think he's actually going to have a better day today than he's had the last few weeks. Mr. Mojo, would you play Diggs? Depends on who else I have, but if you are running out of options on your lineup, especially because it's week 18, I do think Diggs is worth consideration. Chase Davidson, Kincaid, Juwan Johnson, or Everett at tight end. I'd go Gerald Everett. Chase Davidson, I'd go Gerald Everett. CCE, do you like Juwan Johnson today? Not nearly as much as I did last week. I know I recommended him as a major waiver wire pickup last week. I don't like him as much today. Jet, no issue, buddy. T-Tap, White over 22.5 reception yards. T-Tap, you're going to have to do a little bit more work. There are two Whites. There's Amir White, there's Rashad White. I know you guys like typing your questions short, but give me a little bit more help. It's a little bit reaching in the dark there. Reggie Foster, I'd go Dortch over Reed. Reggie Foster, I'd go Dortch over Reed. Frankie Trey, Fields, Geno Smith, or Goff. I'd go Geno Smith, Frankie Trey. I'd go Geno Smith. Wonderful to have all of you guys with us. Make sure you guys are hitting me up on Instagram. If you don't want to wait around for our next free pick, DM me on Instagram. For those watching, when we hit 50,000 likes, it will be my SHARPZ play of the day. Giving out my favorite bet of the day, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet. My favorite bet of the day at 50,000 likes. I won't say it's a lock. It's just the pick that I have the greatest confidence level in. So if you want that SHARPZ play of the day, my favorite bet of the day, let's get up to 50,000 likes lickety split, and we will do that. By the way, Puka is playing today. Cooper Kupp is out. So for those who do have Puka, maybe you want to consider him. Do I think he's going to play the full game? No. I actually think that Sean McVay wants to get him his total so he hits the rookie record, and then I think he's going to sit him. BDJ, I'd go Metcalf over Olave. Metcalf over Olave. Hayden, why Pierre Strong over Hubbard? First of all, Chuba Hubbard has a terrible matchup against the defense he's facing in the Buccaneers. Additionally, Pierre Strong probably going to be the RB1 today for the Cleveland Browns. Bengals are not good against the run. Pierre Strong getting a lot of opportunities. That's why I came up with that. Carter, Herbert or Eckler? I'd go maybe Herbert, just barely. I don't feel great about it, but it's close. Evo, I'd go Jordan Love over Baker. Jordan Love over Baker, Evo. Again, 50,000 likes. Our favorite bet of the day comes your way. Oscar Rodriguez is saying Kamara is out. I'm still waiting on definitive word. I haven't heard yet from a trusted resource, a report. Oh, there it is. Adam Schefter, 36 seconds ago. Alvin Kamara is inactive today. Oh, big news. Everybody, big news. Christian Kirk is inactive. According to Field Yates, Christian Kirk is not playing today. He was activated off the IR, but he is not playing today. Trevor Lawrence is playing. Christian Kirk is not playing. So, if you have Christian Kirk in your lineup, get him out of there. Make sure Christian Kirk is not in your lineup because he is not on the field today for the Jacksonville Jaguars. By the way, the Falcons are starting Desmond Ridder. Taylor Heineke is inactive after attempting to play, attempting to see if he's ready to go. He is out today. Interesting. Baker Mayfield is good to go, in case any of you guys were worried about that. Zay Jones, he's also active. A few more inactive names. T. Higgins, not playing today. Will Levis is not playing today, so it's a Ryan Tannehill special for you guys out there. Again, Taylor Heineke and Christian Kirk, they are also out. Chase Davidson, I think I'd go Chase Davidson. Is Goff playing the full game? If he is, I like Goff. But I don't love Tua's matchup, but he might play the whole game, and that makes the difference. Bucky MC, I'd go, man, Bucky MC, you've got a couple running backs I actually like. I think I'd go Walker number 1, barely over White, but it's very, very close. Diego currently slamming Calvin Ridley lines. Diego is beast. Guys, actually something I would consider right now. I'm actually going to go check this out myself. Zay Jones. What is Zay Jones' receiving yard total set at? Because frankly, if there's no Christian Kirk, Zay Jones could be a much better bet. Oh, no bets. Clearly it was taken off the board by the sports books. Smart sports books, they know what they're doing. They don't want to give away cash for free. But if that one comes available to any of you guys out there, check out Zay Jones. Zay Jones, he might be a good waiver wire pickup, and additionally could be a really good bet for all of you guys out there on player props. We have hit 50,000 likes, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for being with us, not just today, but all season long. We made this company because we love talking sports, and we are so grateful to have all of you real sports fans out there watching us every single day. Because we hit 50K likes, our favorite bet of the day comes to you right now. Butt Fumble Sports is giving you the SHARPZ play of the day, our favorite bet of the day, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet. It is our favorite bet of the day. You guys ready? Here it is. And I get a lot of, I'm gonna be single tier about this as well. I grew up in New England. I'm not as big a Patriots fan now as I was obviously years ago. But Bill Belichick, he's special. If you don't think he's the greatest head coach of all time, we can debate that in the offseason. But between Super Bowls, between wins, between division titles and everything else, I think he's the greatest head coach in the history of the NFL. And today could be his last day on the throne in New England. And I don't know if you know this, but he has some history with the New York Jets. He was actually the head coach of the New York Jets twice in his head coaching career, despite never coaching one game as a head coach for the New York Jets. There's some animosity between him and the New York Jets. He also has dominated New York over the last decade or so. It's been a long time since the Jets won, especially against New England. One more stat for you. If Bill Belichick beats the Jets today, he will actually have more wins against the Jets than any head coach has against any other organization in the history of the NFL. Crazy stat, but it is true. And guys, I'm not fading him today. I am taking the Patriots on the money line in what should be a very emotional game for both Patriot fans and for Bill Belichick himself. I expect it to be low scoring. You know that's a Bill Belichick special. It's against the Jets. Bill Belichick special. It's a snow game. I'm taking the Patriots on the money line. That is my favorite bet of the day. That is my SHARPZ play of the day. If you guys want every bet that I make every day, including my SHARPZ play of the day, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram is the name of my company. It's also my handle on Instagram. Go over, DM Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I'll give you a link and a referral code so you can follow every bet that I make today, tomorrow, every single day. Because actually, we just re-upped with SHARPZ. I will be staying with the SHARPZ app all year long for all of 2024. So if you want every bet that I make every single day, make sure you DM me on Instagram. But for those who just missed it, my favorite bet of the day, my SHARPZ play of the day is Patriots on the money line, everybody. We have a caller up on the line. Let's see what Justin wants to talk about. Justin's going to be our next caller. Let's see what Justin has. Justin, what's good?
What's good?
How you living today?
Good.
How can we help you?
So one of my star receivers is out, and you can guess who it is. It's Keenan Allen.
Okay.
And my 4 top receivers I can get are Joshua Palmer, Demarcus Robinson, Richie James, or Cortland Sutton. What would you go?
I'd go Cortland Sutton if he's available. Robinson would be number 2, but if Cortland Sutton is starting today, I would go with Cortland Sutton.
Do you like his matchup?
I don't like his matchup. It's just when he's been healthy, he's been a very consistently good player. He's gotten in the end zone. I don't love his matchup, but then again, the names you mentioned, I don't love as well. Robinson has the best matchup, but do I trust him over Cortland Sutton? Probably not, so that's why I'm going with Sutton.
Okay.
Appreciate the question, Justin. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you guys want to join the show as a caller, feel free to hit us up. Evo, is Mitchell a good play? He's decent. Love him? No. Like him? Probably yes. By the way, shout out to you, Jans. Hope you're having a great day. Can't wait to see you in a little bit, buddy. It's been too long. Chase Davidson, is Jalen Waddle out? Yes, he is for For you fantasy football owners, and more importantly maybe for you Miami Dolphin fans, Jalen Waddle is out today. Raheem Mostert is out today. You will be without their services. Fortunately for the Dolphins, they're already going to the postseason, but they probably won't win the AFC East, in part because they don't have two of their most important offensive talents. CCE, I'd go Jamal Williams. CCE, I'd go Jamal Williams. Appreciate the question. Pablito, Bijan, Mason, Pierre Strong. I'd go Bijan Robinson. I'm going Bijan Robinson, Pablito. Carolina N, great to see you. I'd go Jamal Williams. Carolina N, I'd go Jamal Williams. Mr. Debo, I do like Bills on the money line. Yep, I do like the Bills on the money line. That is one of the bets we have up on our big board. Carpet Man, Pacheco is out. That was one we were expecting, though. Not a big shock in that one. Kind of what we expected, so there you go. Any crazy ones for you? No crazy. I'm still waiting on any inactives and starts that we may not know about, so getting that in. Blicky, Gabe Davis, or Jackson Smith and Jigba? I kind of like Jackson Smith and Jigba more. CCE has a sports betting question. He's asking about Achane rushing yards. Let's take a look at that one. Really good question, in part because no Raheem Mostert makes Devon Achane a much better start. Let's see where we like his total rushing yards today. It's set right now at 70.5. Bills are a middle-of-the-pack defense, 15th against the run in the NFL, so not great, not bad. They're 12th against running backs specifically. That is something to note. Now, Achane obviously hasn't hit this total very frequently in the last 2 months of the year, but that kind of is because of injury and because Raheem Mostert took off. Let's take a look now. In home games, was very hot earlier in the year. This has been very cold of late. But one thing we can do with the Outlier app that I really love, I can actually see how he's done without Raheem Mostert. He cashed. The only game he played in his career without Raheem Mostert there, he did go over this total. So if I had to go in one direction, I would take Achane over rushing yards. I don't love it at the 70.5, but I think that's probably as good as it gets. I don't see a lot of alternative lines available on his rushing yards. Chase Davidson, Zamir White is a good play. Carolina Ann, appreciate you watching the show. First year playing fantasy, won one of 2 leagues, second league championship loading with your help. Carolina N, let's get that title, let's get that win. Reggie Foster, I'd go Jamal Williams. Reggie Foster, Jamal Williams. Chase Davidson, I'd go Zamir White. Chase Davidson, Zamir White. Tamia Lima, I'd go Rashad White, Zamir White, and Tony Pollard. White, Pollard would be the 3 for me. Guys, we have about an hour and 15 minutes until the kickoff of the final regular season week or final regular season Sunday of the season. So get those questions in, everybody. Only about an hour and 15 minutes left. Dylan Sams, Jones or Montgomery? I don't like either one of them. Both have bad matchups. I don't know how long Montgomery's going to play. He's got the better matchup of the two. I guess I'd go Montgomery, but frankly, I don't like either one. Ty, Taylor's version, Tua or Baker? I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Tua. I know Baker's been hot, but he has the tougher matchup. I'll go Tua, rather. Ryan Picard, Saints defense against the Falcons, Patriots defense against the Jets. I'd go Patriots defense. Aiden, Zamir White or Zeke? I'd go Zamir White. I would go Zamir White on that one. Appreciate the question. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. Sebastian, Everett or Kraft? I'd go Everett. Luke Musgrave is back for the Packers. That's going to eat into Tucker Kraft's value and overall receptions. I think Gerald Everett is the much better play. If you guys have a question, want to hit us up live on the air, feel free to do so. Take in calls if you guys want to join the show. The only stipulation, you do have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok. Their rule, not mine. Evo, please don't spam the channel, buddy. I'd take Zamir White over Montgomery. Don't spam. I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to get their questions in. Jorge, if you're seeing Zay Jones over 36.5 receiving yards, I do like that bet. Jake Bobo, anytime touchdown. Not a bet I'm making, but kind of an interesting play. Not what I'm doing, though. Cameron, Packers and Bears, any favored lines? I like the Bears to cover. I would take the Bears at plus 7.5, and I would take the Packers on the money line. So I'd kind of split that one. In fact, let's get some more picks on the big board. It's been a little while since we put some on the big board. I would take Packers on the money line. I'd take Bears plus 7.5. I think this is going to be a bit of a closer game. Think it could come down to the final drive. Jordan Love making a good play. Justin Fields maybe making a mistake. But I think that the Bears ultimately cover slightly over the touchdown mark. But I do think the Packers get the win. Luis, Zamir White or Swift? I'd go Zamir White, Luis. Zamir White. Kelvin, Fields or Jordan Love? I would go Jordan Love on that one. Under the radar, Wandale over Reed? Yes, I would. As for a tight end, I'd go Kincaid. Pete, Mitchell, Chandler, or Addison? I'd go, well, Addison's not a running back, so I'd take him at the flex. I'd go Mitchell for the running back, and I'd go Addison for the flex, Pete. BCal19, Rams or 49ers on the money line? I'm not taking it. I'm not touching it. I want nothing to do with it. There are so few starters playing in that game. I don't have a good sense of who's going to win. Rams 49ers is not a game I want to touch. By the way, I'm seeing some news right now. Chicago is still going to evaluate Justin Fields. They're not sure whether they're going to go with him or not. Man, if the Chicago Bears screw this up, shame on them. The dude has literally had a better season than almost every quarterback they've had in the history of the franchise, and they still might want to move on from him. Why? He's been in the system. They can add more weapons if they don't use a first-round pick on a quarterback. Sure, you could get maybe a good return for Justin Fields. You could also move out of that number 1 overall pick and still get great value. If the Chicago Bears move on from Justin Fields, I think it will absolutely be a mistake. Diego is beast. Justin Fields anytime touchdown. I do think that is a decent play. Not good for my Seahawks. Yeah, not good for your Seahawks, Mr. KS, dude. I do think the Seahawks win today. I will say I think the Seahawks are going to win. I'm going to also put that one up on my big board. I think the Seahawks money line is a play that's worth going with, but I think the Seahawks are going to be sweating out today. Luis, A.J. Brown or Chase? I got to go A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown would be the play for me. Johnny G, Godwin or Wilson? I'd go Chris Godwin. Don't like either one's matchup, but it's the weather that has me worried about Garrett Wilson. Lots of snow there in New England. Expected to be at least 8 inches of snow. I'd go Chris Godwin. Oh, by the way, 30-mile-per-hour winds, so not exactly a great day to throw the football there in Foxborough. Brian, I'd go Ferguson over Laporta. Brian Shurin, I'd go Ferguson over Laporta. I'd also go Elliott over Chase, I think. It's close. I don't have a great lean on that one. Diego saying Bears not passing on Caleb Williams. I'm going to put this rant out there for all of you guys watching the show. Curious to know if you guys are with me on this or if you're fading my take. I think Caleb Williams might be a head case. He has unbelievable arm talent. He absolutely reminds me of Patrick Mahomes from an athletic standpoint. But there are a lot of things about Caleb Williams where I'm like, the guy says some stupid comments. The guy does some immature things. The guy has me wondering if I really think he's going to be the kind of leader of men. If he can step into a locker room and really command the room. Did you notice after that bowl game that the USC Trojans seemed very happy that Caleb Williams wasn't a part of that game? Now, I don't want to make this too much like Draft Day the movie where I'm like, the quarterback didn't have any of his teammates at his birthday party. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally during the game. USC Trojans were like yelling at cameras like, yeah, glad we got this new guy at quarterback. We don't need who's not here. Who are they talking about? They're talking about Caleb Williams. And if I tack on any other take or take any other point on top of that, when Caleb Williams said he thinks he should get team equity to whatever team drafts him, that is probably the most moronic comment I have heard from any quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback, like of all time. One, you can't do it. We just found out with Tom Brady with the Raiders that if you could give equity, if you could be an owner and a player at the same time, Tom Brady would have done that. We know that now. But additionally, one, you can't do it. But two, do you think a billion-dollar owner is going to go, yeah, Caleb Williams, I'm so desperate to have you, my rookie quarterback that I know nothing about long-term. I so want to have you forever that I'm going to give you equity to my multi-billion-dollar franchise? One of the dumbest things I've ever heard a rookie, a prospect, even a player ever say in the NFL. Spoke really poorly of Caleb Williams up here. Spoke really poorly of the management team he has around him. I don't know if I want Caleb Williams. I'd rather have Jaden Daniels at this point. I think between talent and leadership, I think I like Jaden Daniels a little bit more. Obviously, it depends on your team. If you're the Washington Commanders, you just want anybody in there. But Caleb Williams, do I think that the Bears should move on from Fields to Caleb Williams? I think that would be a massive mistake, and I think Caleb Williams' comments, actions, and the way his teammates responded to him sitting out says a lot about why I'd be avoiding him if I were the Chicago Bears. What do you guys think? You think I'm off base on this one? Do you think Caleb Williams is the automatic number 1 overall pick? By the way, I could still say that being the case, but to me, Bears should trade out of that number 1 pick, still be able to pick up assets, be able to draft Marvin Harrison Jr., but allow a team like the Patriots, the Commanders, some dog poop team to move up to that number 1 spot. That's what I would do if I'm Chicago, but I'd keep Justin Fields. Let's do a quick poll on that one. I'm actually kind of curious where you guys come out. Smiley face, keep Justin Fields. Crying face, trade him away. What do you guys think the Chicago Bears should do? Smiley face, keep Justin Fields. Crying face, trade Justin Fields. If you were the Chicago Bears, what would you do? Smiley face, keep Justin Fields. Crying face, trade Justin Fields. What a blowout to start. If you guys like Justin Fields, hit the smiley face. If you think the Bears should trade him and go to a new quarterback next year, hit the crying face. I'm curious to know where you guys, the sports fan, comes out on this one. You've heard my take. We'll let the poll keep going. Smiley face if you think the Bears should keep Justin Fields. Crying face if you think the Bears should trade him and draft a rookie quarterback this offseason. I feel like we know where the audience is going right now. It's a pretty big blowout. In fact, in the entire time we've been doing polls this season, I have not seen one poll as big a blowout as this. To me, we are all having the same thought. The consensus is there. Chicago, keep a good quarterback. You haven't had like 2 in the entirety of your franchise history. What are you doing? Chad Stewart, I think Julio Jones is actually a decent start today. Without Devontae Smith, I do think that you could see Julio Jones once again find his way into the end zone. Nick, I'd go Williams over Wilson. Nick, Williams over Wilson. But Jones is like, LaFleur is going to draft Caleb Williams so he can sit behind Love for 4 years. That would be the most Packers thing in the history of the Packers. Jay-Z, Godwin or Ridley? I'd go Ridley and I'd go Kincaid. Ridley and Kincaid, just barely in both of them. Jacob, I actually am curious to know what the Seahawks do. I heard that Pete Carroll could potentially be on the hot seat. I think that's shocking. I understand the Seahawks had high expectations this year. I think they performed pretty well overall. I understand maybe not to the level people wanted, but I don't think the Seahawks should move on from Pete Carroll. And frankly, I don't think they should move on from Geno Smith. If you want to draft his replacement to have him in place, all for that. But I think Geno Smith is still probably the starting quarterback of the Seahawks to start next year. User 2293, I'd go Ferguson. I would go Ferguson. User 2293, I'd go Ferguson over Njoku, buddy. Dylan Miller, I'd go Bijan and Walker. Dylan Miller, Bijan, and Walker would be the 2 for me. Carpet Man, CEH or Gainwell? Great question. I might go CEH just barely. I understand Gainwell that they sit DeAndre Swift. I don't know how long Swift's going to go compared to Gainwell. I think I like CEH a little bit more. Mahomes, I agree with you there. Seahawks need new coordinators. I'm all for that. There's plenty of talent on that roster. Frankly, I think Pete Carroll continues to do a great job. One of the big indicators to me for how good a coach is, how does the team perform in the fourth quarter? That's when you see coaching really come down to it, when you take your timeouts. Obviously, your play calling, situational coaching. Seahawks have done a really good job in the fourth quarter overall. I would move on from Pete Carroll. I know he's the oldest head coach in the league, but I think he's worth holding on to. Diego is beast. I think Outlier put up Zay Jones. Oh, buddy, thanks. Let's go jump on over to Outlier and let's take a look at Zay Jones. I mentioned to you guys just a moment ago, Christian Kirk is out today. Christian Kirk is not playing. The only bet I'm seeing on Zay Jones is over on touchdowns. Everything else, oh, there we are. It just wasn't populating. So again, Tennessee Titans are terrible against the pass, especially against wide receivers. Zay Jones, great waiver wire pickup for a lot of you out there. By the way, it might be a nice DFS pickup, a nice DFS start given how inexpensive he'll be. But Zay Jones, if we look at him, I'm going to say when he doesn't have Christian Kirk. So one of the things I love about Outlier is I can not just look up how a player does on the road or at home or certain situations, but I can see how he does when he doesn't have a certain teammate in the lineup. When Christian Kirk isn't in the lineup, Zay Jones has hit over 3.5 receptions 9 out of the last 10 games. If you guys are loyal followers of Butt Fumble Sports, you know what we call that. We call that a lawn. That is so much green up on our screen. We call that a lawn here at Butt Fumble Sports. I have to put that pick up on my board, that Zay Jones over 3.5 receptions. That's one of my favorite bets of the day, everybody. Zay Jones over 3.5 receptions. Get it while you can. That ticket is hot, hot, hot. The trends all speak to it. Love the play. Now let's look at receiving yards specifically. Not as good a play. We'll look at it without Christian Kirk. I like the receptions total. That's a good play. Receiving yards total, very, very iffy. I obviously like it because the matchup. I still think it probably hits, but I like receptions way more. I think Zay Jones gets to 4 receptions, and that's a more likely play than him getting to 36 receiving yards. So Zay Jones over 3.5 receptions, that's the latest pick we put up on our board. 1 hour, everybody. We have 1 hour until NFL Week 18 has its final Sunday of the season. I know. I'm crying in my sleep too. I'm crying in my pillow. I don't want this season to end. We've had so much fun. We've made so much money for a number of you. You dominated in fantasy. You got those championship belts. But we got 1 hour to go before kickoff and all of this gets underway. So get your questions in. Get your sports betting questions, your fantasy questions. We're here for you. Christian, I lean just slightly, I think, towards Trevor Lawrence. Now that we know he's a play, the Titans are bad enough. It's very close between Geno and Trevor Lawrence. I'm a bit of a toss-up for me. Under the radar, Henry's last game, no Levis, seems to be better numbers with Ryan. Is he a start? I think Derrick Henry actually is a better start with Ryan Tannehill as the starting quarterback. I don't hate Henry. I don't think he's a great play because Jacksonville's decent against the run, but I do ultimately like Henry as a decent start. Mahomes, who's going to be better long run? D'Amico Ryans. I think Robert Saleh is a good defensive mind, but frankly, I don't think he's a great head coach. I say that because of games like the one against the Washington Commanders. How did that become a game? Like, if you're a good head coach and you have a 3-touchdown lead, you shouldn't lose. You should not lose. D'Amico Ryans is a really good defensive coordinator, but what I've been impressed by this season is he's a really good head coach. He understands in-game adjustments. He understands how to manage his team. I think D'Amico Ryans is one of the best young, up-and-coming head coaches in the NFL. Keep your eye on him. To me, I don't want to put him in the I don't want to get over my skis on this one, but I've been incredibly impressed. And most importantly, he's running that defense. And something I like about him is he's converted what was a bad run defense into a good run defense. Imagine when he just adds more talent to that defensive side of the ball. Buy stock in the Houston Texans now, everybody. They're going places. Hazed out. Ty Chandler, Kelsey, or Puka. I'd go Puka. Kelsey is out. I don't like Chandler's matchup. It would be Puka for me. James Conner or Kenneth Walker. I like both, but I'd go Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker would be the preferred start. Tommy Guerrero, Puka, D-Hop, Jones, Eckler, Kincaid, Thielen, pick 2. I'm going to go Thielen, and I will go D-Hop. I understand we just talked a lot about Zay Jones, and he's a decent play, but I do like D-Hop and Thielen. Those would be the 2 for me. Jacob, pick 2. I'd go Zamir White and Zay Jones. Zamir White and Zay Jones. It's not that I don't like Zeke. I mentioned to you guys earlier, he's got a great matchup against the Jets. I think he could get a touchdown. My concern is, I think the backup running back Kevin Harris could get a lot of carries in that Patriots game. I'm a little bit concerned about that, so I'm going to fade him a little bit, and I'll go Zamir White and Zay Jones, Jacob. Nico, start Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason. I'd start Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones has a tough matchup. Bears are the best run defense in the league. I'm fading Aaron Jones a little bit. Justin Palmer or Shaheed. I'm going to go Rashid Shaheed. It's Saints at home. I feel better about that. I know the Falcons are a decent pass defense, but I'd go Shaheed over Palmer. X, Aaron Jones or Zamir White. X, I'd go Zamir White. X, I'd go Zamir White. Pete, I'd go Jordan Addison. Pete, out of the group you mentioned, I'd go Jordan Addison. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you guys want us to do a rapid fire, potentially the last rapid fire of the fantasy football season, make sure that you hit us up When we hit 100 roses, we will do another rapid fire. So if you want the final rapid fire of the fantasy football season, make sure you hit us up with those roses. When we hit our live goal, we will be doing that. Hazed out, I'd go Trevor Lawrence. Hazed out, Trevor Lawrence. Aiden Benson, I'd go Jamal Williams just barely. Golf clips, I'm taking Bills on the money line. It's really to me about the fact that Waddle and Mostert are both out today. Thanks, Shanda the Wine Panda. Someone wants that rapid fire. Nick, if I keep Wilson for upside, should I start Williams over Connor or Chandler or start a third running back? I don't know why you'd start Garrett Wilson. He's a terrible start today. Literally one of the worst wide receiver starts of the day. I like Williams and I like Connor. I'd start both of them over Wilson. Omar, Herbert, or Robinson? I'd go Herbert just barely. I think Robinson could get in the end zone, but Herbert's got the better matchup against the Packers defense that's really bad against the run, actually. Under the radar, I'd go Williams. Williams over Henry and Strong just barely. I would love to see Derrick Henry have a massive game, but I can't necessarily lock that in. Karen Brown, thanks for the roses. Halfway to our live goal, halfway to our rapid fire, everybody. If you guys do want to call the show, get your question answered live on air or ask it live on air, feel free to do so. Happy to have you guys come on and do that. The dad influence, thank you. Caleb White, sit one. I would sit Aaron Jones, I think. I think I'd sit Aaron Jones, Caleb White. Appreciate you guys being with us, no matter the platform, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Appreciate you guys joining us. Alex Holding, I'd go Slayton, I think. I think I'd go Slayton. You guys are the absolute best. That was the fastest we've hit our live goal today. Wonderful to be able to do another rapid fire with you guys. Again, potentially the last rapid fire of the fantasy football regular season. Tier. What are we going to do? Well, I know what we're going to do. We're going to do a rapid fire. We got to get it done. So, everybody, this is how rapid fire works. I answer as many fantasy questions as fast as I can, as long as I can. All I ask of you is to tap the screen. As long as I see the TikTok like hearts going up on the screen, I don't stop. So as long as I see the hearts, I will keep going. That could be for 5 minutes. That could be for 45 minutes. Entirely up to you. Okay, guys? You guys ready for rapid fire? Good, because it starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rapid fire engaged. And let's go, everybody. Kane, I'd go Zamir White. And I'd go Herbert. Raheem Mostert isn't playing, and the Patriots are a good run defense. Kane, I'd go White and Herbert. Sebastian, I'd go Herbert. Michael, I'd go Wan'Dale Robinson. Forest Fire, I'm going to lean just slightly towards Kyler Murray, I think. Very close. Nav, I'd go Rashad White, and I'd go White and Etienne. It's close. I'll go White and Etienne barely over Brian Robinson. Under the radar, do we trust Mike Evans to get a touchdown today? Yes, I think he will get one. Big Willie 90, I'd go Romeo Dobbs. Big Willie 90, I'd go Romeo Dobbs. Rejewel, I'd go Olave. Rejewel, I'd go Olave. Kane, I'd go Zamir White and I'd go Herbert. Zamir White and Herbert. Get those questions in. Nick, I'd go Herbert over Gibbs, believe it or not. I don't know how long Gibbs is actually going to play in that one. Gabe, I'd go Brian Robinson. Gabe, I'd go Robinson barely over Dortch. Sebastian, I'd go Raiders defense. Sebastian, Raiders defense. I understand the Bucs could get sacked, so I like that. But the Bucs pass defense has me worried. Alex Jasso, I'd go Walker. Alex Jasso, I'd go Walker. And congratulations on your Houston Texans, buddy. Isaac, I'd go Love over Lawrence. Love over Trevor Lawrence. NSA, I'd go Williams over Herbert. Jamal Williams over Herbert. Pedro, I'd go Achan and James Conner. Pedro Alvarez, Achan and James Conner. Carpet Man, I'd go Puka. Demario Douglas is going to be dealing with some really tough weather there in New England. Don't like it. Juan, I'd go D-Hop. Juan. Justin, I'd go James Conner. Justin, James Conner. Appreciate the questions. KO Dog, I'd go Seahawks on the money line. Edwin, I'd lean towards Herbert. The matchup doesn't favor Hall. Gabe, I'd go Brian Robinson. Juan, I'd go D-Hop. Justin, I'd go James Conner. Nick, I'd go Jalen Hurts barely. Jay-Z, I'd go Patriots defense, Jay-Z. Michael, I'd go Swift over Gibbs. Elizabeth Rose, I'd go Brandon Cooks and Zay Jones. Cooks and Jones, Elizabeth. Forest Fire, I'd go Eckler just barely. It's very close for me. Edwin, I'd go Patriots defense. Mr. Debo, Lions first half, that's a better play. I still wouldn't bet it, but it's a better play than the full game maybe. Kane, I'd go Brandon Cooks. Kane, Brandon Cooks. Big Willie, I'd go Zamir White and Bijan. Zamir White and Bijan. Joe Love, I'm going to go Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers over DeMarcus Robinson. I prefer Myers just a little bit. Nick, I'd go Jalen Hurts, buddy. Get those questions in. B-Cal, I'd go Bucks over Jacksonville. Bucks over Jacksonville defense. Alex Jasso, I'd go, man, really tough for me. I'm going to lean slightly towards Moore over Adams, but it's a coin flip. I'm not going to lie. That's very tight. Isaac, I'd go White over Achan. Depends which White. I think I still like both, but certainly Rashad White over Achan. Under the radar, I think Mason is worth a start. Maybe over Mitchell. Very close. Don't know how the splits are going to go in terms of carries. Brian, I'd go Pierre Strong over Robinson just barely. Both are really good plays. I think I'd go Pierre Strong, but I understand both are good starts. Justin, I'd go K9 over Barkley. K9 over Barkley. Appreciate you guys hitting me up with these questions. Brent, I have 2 running back spots and a tight end spot. Jamal Williams. I'd go Jamal Williams, and frankly, I'd probably go Juwan Johnson. I'm not big on Taysom Hill. Jorge, Julio Jones, Zay Jones, or Slayton. Jorge, I'd go Zay Jones. I'd go Zay Jones barely over Slayton. Q Dot, you like Olave's matchup? It's okay, but I still probably have him in my lineup today. Eric Stanley, I'd go Waller over Kraft. Waller over Kraft. Jay-Z, so grateful to have you as a viewer. Doritos, I'd go Ridley and I'd go Barkley. Ridley and Barkley. I am the real CK. I'd go Bucks defense. The real CK, I'd go Bucks defense. Casper, I'd go Evans over Puka. Casper, Evans over Puka. Appreciate you guys hitting me up. Get these questions in. Elizabeth Rose, I'd go Achan. Elizabeth Rose, I'd go Achan. Bucks over 49ers defense. Casper, I'd go Evans over Puka. Nick, I'd go Ferguson. Nick, I'd go Ferguson. Anthony, I'd go K9. Anthony, I'd go K9 just barely. Does Jalen play today even with the Cowboys win? I think he could. If you're worried about him pulling him, I get it. You could start a backup, but I still think he'll probably play. Elizabeth Rose, I'd go Achan. Elizabeth Rose, I'd go Achan. Mr. Debo, I'm not touching the Chargers on the money line. Not a bet that I like. I know they're favored. I don't like the bet. Not taking it. Mr. KS Dude, Baker Mayfield over 3.5 passing touchdowns? Hell no. Hell no. The Carolina Panthers are a good pass defense. I don't like Baker today. LAD18, Mixon, Zamir, or Saquon. I'd go Zamir White. LAD18, I'd go Zamir White. Alex Jasso, I'd go Zamir White. Brian Cold Iron, I'd go Zamir White and Herbert. Zamir White and Herbert. Good news, TJ Watt has a sprained MCL. I know that's not good news, but compared to what it could have been, TJ Watt is expected to probably miss a couple of weeks. So his time this season is probably done, but fortunately not a tear, which means he should be back for next year, no issue. Anthony, I'd go K9. Anthony, I'd go K9. Sports Fantasy, I'd go Kincaid. Sports Fantasy, I'd go Kincaid. Big Uzi is telling me DeAndre Swift is out. We need to confirm that. That would be concerning. It's an illness. I'm hearing it's because of an illness. Guys, Kenneth Gainwell is now a great play. Kenneth Gainwell is a great play. DeAndre Swift is out due to illness. So it's not because of the situation when it comes to the playoffs. It's because of illness. He has been ruled out. That was just released about 12 minutes ago by Adam Schefter. So for everyone out there, DeAndre Swift is no longer a good play. So everybody, make sure he is not in your lineup. But I will talk about some Kenneth Gainwell plays after this. Brody, I'd go Darius Slayton. Brody, Darius Slayton. Tua or Love, I'd go Jordan Love over Tua. Jordan Love over Tua. Jack P, best quarterbacks today. I think Jordan Love could be a very good play. I think that Dak Prescott, if he plays the full game, is a very good play. I think Tyrod Taylor could have a very good game. I think that, believe it or not, Bryce Young could have one of his better games of the year. So there are a few guys on the waiver wire that you might want to consider. Trevor Lawrence is another one. Alex Jasso. My only concern is Dak going to play the full game. If he does, I prefer Dak over Justin Fields by a wide margin. But if you have some nerves about it, I'd go Justin Fields just to be safe. He could have a very big day on the ground, so there are points to be had there. Touchdown potentially. I think I'd start Dak, but it's making me a little nervous. Montgomery or Zamir White? I'd go Zamir White. Guys, end of the likes being hit, end of the hearts up the screen. So we end the rapid fire for now. Appreciate you guys tapping that screen as much as you did. We've got some picks to give out, everybody. We're going to give out some more picks right now. Again, if you want every bet that we make every day for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every single day. We're going to give away some free picks right now, and then we're going to take some calls. So if you do want to come on as a caller, jump on the line. We'll get to you guys in just a second. But I want to give out another player prop bet. I've been talking about it a little bit. I like Justin Fields over 49.5 rushing yards. Really like that play, in part because the Packers are so bad against the run. I think Justin Fields could have a field day, pun intended. 49.5 rushing yards is the total. I really like that bet. Let's give out another one, because come on, Butt Fumble Sports is team cashing tickets. We love giving out picks to you guys. I like Kenneth Walker III over, I took it at 49.5 rushing yards as well. You might want to even bump that up. Really like that play. So Justin Fields over 49.5 rushing yards and Kenneth Walker III over 49.5 rushing yards. But now I want to jump over to Outlier, and I want to see what Kenneth Gainwell's total is set at. Now, maybe the sports books have wised up and taken him off the board, but let's see. Are rushing yards available? Nope, only touchdowns. That said, it actually is a very good bet. Kenneth Gainwell, anytime touchdown is right now plus 205. Very good bet, everybody. Keep in mind, Kenneth Gainwell plus 205. That could be a really good one for all of you folks out there. Just something to consider. I'm just saying. User 1406, I'd go Jordan Love. User 1406, I'd go Jordan Love. More and more, I don't like Hurts as we're learning about who's going to be in and out of that lineup. Nick, A.J. Brown or Evans? I might go Mike Evans now. I know that A.J. Brown is the better matchup, but everything about the Eagles' defense is changing by the minute. Has me a little worried. Dot, I'd go James Conner and Achane. James Conner and Achane, just barely. Let's jump on over to the phone lines. Crowned is going to be the next caller we have up on the phone lines. Let's see what Crowned wants to talk about. Crowned, what's good?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Loving life. How can we help you?
Good. So I'm actually chasing NFL contract incentives, and DeAndre Hopkins, he needs 2 TDs.
Yeah, buddy.
7 receptions. I'm checking that. Plus, Joe Mixon needs 2 TDs. I'm checking that too. And Deontay Foreman needs 2 TDs. So I might check that too.
So, Crowned, I'm not a 2 TD guy. I feel like that's a little ambitious. I love your DeAndre Hopkins idea. I love DeAndre Hopkins for receiving yards, receptions. That one I like a lot more. Asking 2 touchdowns from these guys is almost being a little greedy. And what I mean by that is literally coaches would have to put them in at certain times to get those. Joe Mixon's one that I like. Who's starting for the Browns defense? Probably no Myles Garrett. Might be a little bit easier to get that one. I don't like the Foreman one. That one feels a little bit off to me, in part because the Bears have something to play for. Not the playoffs, but to spoil the Packers' playoffs. So do I think the Bears are going to be considering Foreman's contract incentives over the Bears' opportunity to screw over the Packers? I don't. I think Hopkins could have a good opportunity to cash in on that. I think Mixon could have a good opportunity. Foreman's the one that I'm probably fading the most because the Bears want to play spoiler more than they want to pay out to some of these other players.
Okay. And as far as New York versus Philly, I actually got Boston Scott because Scott has scored.
Love it. You know, the greatest trend in the history of sports has been Boston Scott anytime touchdown against the New York Giants. And now that we know for a fact that DeAndre Swift is out, I'm going to take that one too. I'm all about that. I'm even going to look that up as we speak right now. Boston Scott, anytime touchdown. First of all, Caesars is offering that at plus 900. So if you bet on Caesars, race to that sports book right now and place it. But where I place most of my bets on DraftKings, that's plus 340. I love the bet. I know he didn't get the touchdown against the Giants last time they played for the first time like ever. But Crown, you're on to something. No DeAndre Swift. I like Boston Scott over half an anytime touchdown, buddy. You nailed it.
Appreciate it. I put $1 in for 200 grand, so hopefully that hits.
I love it. By the way, if you're placing $1 down, have some fun. I was more worried that you were placing more larger units down on those individual bets. But if you're doing this for a lottery ticket, scratch away and let's see if we hit the big money, buddy.
I'm definitely making it a marathon, not a race, man. So yeah, it's pretty good.
That's how you need to approach sports betting. Anyone who thinks it's a race in sports betting, it's a race to the bottom for them. So Crowned, I love it. Good luck and have a great NFL Sunday, Week 18. Let's get to another caller. Valerie is going to be up next on the line. Valerie has been incredibly loyal as a viewer for this season. I've had a great time talking to her. Valerie, how you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, could not be better. I'm talking sports with you guys. How could things be wrong?
Okay, so my question now that Swift isn't playing, would you play Gainwell over Mitchell?
Yes, I would. In part because I don't trust Mitchell's overall carries. He could be RB1 and they could swap him out, say, in the red zone for Mason. I think it's going to be kind of hard to understand his value. I know we just talked about Boston Scott anytime touchdown, but Kenneth Gainwell should get RB1 targets or RB1 carries through the 20s, obviously in the red zone as well. I think he is the best play out of those two.
Okay, perfect. And then what about Jags or Bucks defense?
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers defense. I'm not crazy about either one, but it's the Carolina Panthers offensive line that actually has me taking the Bucks. I can see the Bucks getting a lot of sacks in this game, maybe a turnover, strip sack, something like that. So I'll take the Bucks just barely.
Okay, perfect. And do you have any standout kickers right now?
Wow, standout kickers. Man, you know how to get me excited for this day. Okay, who are some standout kickers? Brandon Aubrey, obviously of the Dallas Cowboys. He literally hasn't missed a field goal in his NFL career, but I'm assuming he's rostered in whatever league you're in. The Seahawks kicker might be a good one. They're playing in Arizona, so it's in a dome. I'm expecting them to put up some points, so the Seahawks kicker might be a good one.
Okay.
Jake Elliott of the Eagles, nah, because the weather. I'm just quickly looking at him. I could see Brandon McManus of the Jacksonville Jaguars being an okay start. I don't like him as much as the Seahawks kicker, but I could see him having a decent game. Outside of that, I'm not crazy about the group. Maybe Nick Folk as well for the Tennessee Titans. He's been very consistent this year. Mm-hmm. But what's tough is we've got some tough weather in a couple games. And frankly, in the games that are even in a dome, I don't see a lot of scoring in some of those. So I tend to say the names I just gave you are probably the ones I'd go with.
Yeah, I have Dicker, so I'm not really... I mean, he's been decent.
I actually don't mind that one. Kansas City is going to take their foot way off the gas. I think it's an opportunity actually for the Chargers to have one of their better games of the last month and a half. So I actually think Dicker isn't a bad start.
All right. Thank you for all your help and hope I win this week.
Valerie, I hope you win too. Can't wait to hear from you. Good luck today. I can't wait to know if you got that championship belt. King No Crown is going to be the next caller on the line. Let's see what King No Crown wants to talk about. King No Crown, what's good?
Vegas at 1 in the morning and sparred Devin here.
Hello?
King No Crown, what's good, buddy?
Oh man, what's going on?
How you living?
I'm doing all right. I have the final week of the championship run, so this is a rare week because a lot of players aren't really playing. But
yep.
I still have some people I'm thinking about. I have Mixon, James Conner, James Cook, and Rachaad White. So what trio or what two running backs would you start first? And then I have Olave.
Let's start with the wide receivers and then we'll move on. I want to make sure we break this down. I love Rachaad White. Rachaad White is a must start for me. Give me the other three running backs.
Mixon, James Conner, and James Cook.
I'd go James Conner and Rashad White. I do think that there is a good flex play out of Mixon. Sorry, give me the other one real quick.
James Conner and
Yeah.
Mixon.
Oh, you said James Cook was the other one. Yeah. So I like Conner and White to be my 2 starting running backs. If I had to take a flex from the other running backs, I'd probably go Mixon, just barely. But now let's hear about your wide receivers.
I have Olave, and obviously Keenan Allen's not playing, and then I have Ayuk. He's not playing, so it's basically between Olave and Jettis. But I also have Evan Ingram and Trey McBride. So
I'd start Trey McBride, absolutely. Ingram is kind of an interesting flex idea. I don't like it enough. I probably like Joe Mixon more. We heard another caller talk about why. It's because the contract incentives. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals the head coaching staff gives Joe Mixon his red zone opportunities. That might pay off for you. So I like Evan Ingram, but not quite enough as much as I like Mixon.
Okay, so James Cook and James Conner, Rashad White and James Conner start pretty much.
James Conner, Rashad White, must starts for me at the running back position, yes.
Okay, and I also have Baker Mayfield as because I had Stafford, but he's not playing, and I had I think another quarterback. Or excuse me, I dropped Russell Wilson, so I just have Baker Mayfield as my starter. So is that going to be, I guess the winner? You know what I mean?
I don't love it. I'm not gonna lie. Panthers are a really good pass defense. I know Baker has been scorching hot of late, but it's not a great situation for him. On the road, good pass defense, and to my comment about Rashad White, the Panthers are so bad against the run that I think there's more opportunities in the run game than the pass game. If you can't find anyone else on the waiver wire, Baker is good enough. He can maybe get 2 touchdowns, maybe. I don't see a lot of passing yards, but I'm a little bit nervous about that one. The problem is, like, who's better on the waiver wire? You know, like, would I rather start Tyrod Taylor over Baker Mayfield? Probably not. Like, I understand why that would be a consideration, but I think I'd probably start Baker unless there's someone on the waiver wire that's like, hey, someone dropped Trevor Lawrence because he was out the last few weeks. You know, that would be the kind of substitute, but I think it's probably Baker, even though he's not a great start.
Yeah, I think I picked up Jake Browning instead. So, because I had Stafford, like I said, but Jake Browning, I'm not sure because Higgins isn't playing. Jamar Chase is playing, and also I have Mixon, so that could be like a combination. But either way,
I think I like Baker more. It's really close, but I think I like Baker more, in part because, again, I could see Mike Evans getting the touchdown. That means a passing touchdown from Baker. I'm kind of riding with the probability that he finds the end zone. Again, don't expect a lot of passing yards, but hopefully maybe 2 touchdowns. That would be good enough for you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to have my running backs go off, or at least Jefferson go off finally.
Here's the one thing I would say. I would rather have the stacking of Baker and Rashad White than I would Joe Mixon and Jake Browning. And here's the biggest reason why. Rashad White's been pretty good in the passing game as well. So you're going to be collecting all of his points. And if he gets success in the screen game, Baker Mayfield's going to help you out there. So I think I would rather stack the Bucs offensive duo than the Bengals offensive duo.
Definitely. That's what I was thinking already. So I just wanted to make sure, like, as Evan Ingram was, like I said, he's been pretty solid, you know what I mean? So I'm assuming Mixon's going to get a little more incentives, like you said, because I guess I seen he only needs 1 touchdown to get like $1 million or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mixon's definitely in the mix for a lot of money. The contract incentive thing, I wouldn't chase that too much. I think sometimes we hear that on social media and it's like, oh, that dude's going to go off. Well, it depends on his coaching staff. It depends like what the team is playing for, like what the motivations are. I like Mixon more than maybe some other incentive plays, but I'm not crazy about Jake Browning.
Yeah, and the Browns defense is resting some of their starters, so that's what I'm kind of looking at too.
And by the way, the Browns defense is really good. Really good. And even though they're resting some players, they have a really good defensive coordinator. I think they still take pride in their ability to play good defense, even with backups. So I could see Mixon having a good game. Again, I just don't want to be in the Jake Browning business this week.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man.
You have a great NFL Sunday. Hope you have a good one. Let's get to another caller. Cam, one of our subscribers. Cam dropped on us. Cam, if you want to join the show, hit us up. More than happy to have you come on. Next caller that we're having up on the air is going to be George. George, what's good?
Hey, how you doing? First time calling you back since championship last week. I ended up losing by 5. I started McCaffrey, and they killed me by 5 points.
If McCaffrey had stayed in that game, buddy, I am so sorry.
Yeah, and I had Aaron Jones on my bench too. I benched him over Henry.
But to me, it's more like if Christian McCaffrey is in the red zone like he would have been, like we all expected, and he'd gotten the touchdown, like there it is. But it was that calf injury. They gave it to Mitchell. So sorry, George.
Yeah, what happens? Anyway, quick question. I was calling regarding. I did some teasers on some unders today, and I was just calling curious on what you thought of it. I took under 43 in the Niner game, under 43 in the Bucks game, and then under 48 in the Saints game. You think those are pretty safe plays? It's their adjusted line, so.
Falcons Saints, I love the under. Love the under you took. I took it at 46.5. You got it at 48. Love that. Love that. I think that's going to be a bit more of a defensive game than people think. You said the Buccaneers-Panthers game. That's an interesting one. It's one I didn't bet, but it's not a bad idea, in part because, again, I think the Panthers' defense is going to be a little bit better than people think. I also think that the Bucs' defense isn't going to give up a ton of points. I want to look at this really quick, though, on Outlier, and I want to see where the public monies come down on that. So, good news for you, buddy. This is actually great news. A larger percentage of the public tickets are on the over. However, the sharp money, the money that's being placed by those who usually are in the know, they like the under. So I'm with you. I'd rather be on the side of the under in that one. And then the last one you mentioned was it Titans-Jaguars?
No, the Niners-Rams. I fear they just want to get the week over with, you know.
By the way, both teams, it sounds like both teams don't want to have anything to do with that one. Now, that one, both the public money on tickets and the percentage of money on bets, they both favor the under. So we're good on. I actually think you found 3 really good bets, and it's all backed up by how the trends and the line movement is kind of working in your favor.
Well, I was looking at the trends on the NFC South, and I want to say I think it was like 10 out of 12 of the game, the unders hit this year in that division of those games. So that's kind of another reason why I went with the under.
Great trend, George. I love that, buddy.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to your callers. I know you got a lot of people still playing this week. So thank you for your advice this season. I'll be calling you to talk sports through the year.
George, I look forward to it. You're one of my favorite callers. Look forward to it again really soon. Let's get another caller up on the line. Let's see if Cam can connect this time. Cam is one of our subscribers. Look forward to this. Let's see what Cam wants to talk about. Cam, what's good?
Hey, how are you?
Loving life. How can we help you?
Yeah, so I'm in a 2-week matchup for the championship. I'm down 20 points. I lost Swift, so I'm wondering if I pivot to Terry McLaurin or Jackson Smith.
Ooh. Tough. Terry McLaurin's one of those guys I think could have a decent game because of his contract incentives, but I'm going to recommend that you go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. First of all, he's come on really strong in the past 6 weeks of the season. I like the matchup against the Cardinals more than I like the matchup for McLaurin against the Cowboys. I'm a little nervous about it because I do think the Washington Commanders might feed McLaurin a little bit more so he hits the contract. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think he's going to get a touchdown. The dude has been finding the end zone. I'd go JSN.
Cool. Thank you.
Cam, have a great day. Hope you get that win, buddy. If you guys want to join the show as a caller, hit us up. Not too much time left in the show. Make sure you get your questions in. Love having you callers join the show. One of my favorite things that we do every single week. Ernest B, who do you think will win, opponent or my team? Personally, I hate to say it, I like your opponent's team a little bit more. My concern is your running backs. Are Gibbs and Hubbard really going to be good plays? It's very, very close, actually, the more I look at it. In part because I like Zamir White, I like Metcalf. I'm not down on Fields. I think it's very close to Ernest B. Frankly, I think you're in a dogfight. but I'm not crazy about your chances. I'd probably say it's probably 55-45 with you on the bad side. John, I'd go Jonah, I'd go Jamal Williams. Jonah, I'd go Jamal Williams and Jordan Love. E-Man 18, I'd go Okonkwo. E-Man 18, I'd go Okonkwo, barely over Gerald Everett. Very close between those two, but I think I'd go with Okonkwo. If you guys want all of my bets for free, still have time to get your bets in, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports on Instagram, to get every bet that I make every single day for free. So hit me up. If you want the link and referral code to see every bet that I make, they're over on the SHARPZ app. Hit me up right now. That way I can hook you guys up. Logan, I do like the Bucks to win today, but I don't like the spread. Be wary. I think the Panthers cover that game. Bro, I'd go Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams. Mercedes Martinez. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. I don't feel great about that, but I really don't like Derek Carr. Nick, I'd go Love over Kyler. Just barely Love over Kyler. Jordy, I'd go Smith over Lawrence. Again, very close, but I'll go Smith over Trevor Lawrence. Carlos, I'd go DJ Moore over Puka. I think Puka's going to get his opportunities early and then could sit the back half of the game. I like Moore over Puka. Brody, I'd go Gainwell over Montgomery. I like the matchup more, and I think Gainwell's ultimately going to get more carries, so I like that. Aaron, just hit me up on Instagram to get every bet that I make every day. Aaron, you just got the link and referral code. If you want my bets for free, DM me on Instagram. There's still time to get them in. Xander Simmons, great to see you today. Xander Simmons, I'd go, who do you like to score? I do think Joe Mixon finds the end zone. I think Derrick Henry also finds the end zone in what is most likely his last game and is a Tennessee Titan. Crippler, will Goff play all game? I wouldn't expect it. I think Dan Campbell is going to be very conservative today. Look, Dan Campbell's been aggressive with his play calling and with the kind of actions he's taken throughout the season, but I think he's smart enough to know one injury changes the prospect of the Lions actually making an NFC championship. So to me, I think the Lions are going to be very conservative. Evo, I'd go Jordan Love. Jordan Love. Mason, if I had to go Rams or Niners, I'd probably go Niners, but I really don't like either one, given we don't really know what's going on. John, I don't think Debo's going to play. I think Debo's sitting out. Lewis SP, I would go with Olave in the flex, yes. Nathan, Jamal Williams is the start I'd go with. Jamal Williams barely over Kenneth Gainwell. It's close, though. Great to have you guys with us. Our show is coming to an end in just a few minutes, so get your questions in, get your comments in. Show some love to Butt Fumble Sports in what is our final Fantasy Football Sunday of the season. I know, sad, but we got to make the most of it, guys. Again, if you want every bet that I make today, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Game picks, total plays, player prop bets, parlays, round robins, they are all available for free. DM me right now on Instagram to make sure you get them every single day. And I also want to make sure, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, make sure you're a member of this community. We are 65,000 followers on TikTok. We're about 85,000 followers across all of our platforms. We are live almost every day with sports betting research, fantasy sports research, and a lot of sports takes. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you're with us every single day. Xander Simmons, we like Hill, we like CeeDee Lamb. I'm a little worried about Amon-Ra St. Brown, not in terms of matchup, but in terms of how long he'll be on the field. Nathan, I'm probably leaning slightly towards Tua, very close though. Lewis SP, I'd go Waller. Waller would be the play. Billy, I'd go Patriots defense. Patriots defense would be the play. Jordy, I'd go Zamir White. Jordy Alejandro, I'd go Zamir White. Junior, I'd go Zeke Elliott. Junior, Zeke Elliott, just barely. Brandon, I'd go, great question. I'd go Julio Jones. I think I'd go Julio Jones over Chark. No Devontae Smith, so if Jalen Hurts does play, I think Julio Jones could actually end up having a pretty good game. Wonderful to have you guys with us across all these platforms every single day. I do want to say for all of you out there who are big fans of our content, We are going nowhere. We are going to be live almost every day, so make sure you're with us every day. Bro, I'd go Jamal Williams. Bro, Jamal Williams. Mercedes Martinez, I'd go Tony Pollard. B. Cal 19, I'd go Gainwell and Breece Hall, I think. I just don't know if Gibbs is going to get a lot of opportunities overall. Robert, Cook, Mostert, Bijan, pick one. I'm going Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson has some incentives on the line. He's got some rookie rushing opportunities on the line. I do think he gets opportunities. Xander, I've got Puka on the bench. Would you pick someone over? I might start Puka over St. Brown, but just because I absolutely think that Puka, with those rookie records on the line and incentives on the line, might be enough to get him some good opportunities. By the way, Adam Schefter is saying Bill Belichick, he thinks Bill Belichick's going to be out at the end of this year. I hope that's not the case for Patriot fans. I think Bill Belichick should remain head coach, not GM, obviously. But it sounds like Adam Schefter thinks Robert Kraft is leaning towards a replacement at head coach. So today could be a monumental day, could be the last day Bill Belichick is head coach of the New England Patriots. For all of those out there who are unaware of it, he has been the head coach of the Patriots since 2000. Just imagine where this world was, where you were. Some of you viewers weren't even alive the last time the Patriots had a different head coach. By the way, I actually have a quick question for you guys. Quick poll, it's not a poll question, but a trivia question. Robert Kraft as head coach, Robert Kraft as owner of the New England Patriots has had only 3 head coaches in his time as owner. Can you name all 3? I'll give you a hint. All 3 are either in the Hall of Fame or will be in the Hall of Fame. Can you name all 3 head coaches? Obviously, I would hope you get the one that is currently in there. Xander Simmons, what's your favorite flex play of the week? Ooh. I mean, I don't know, simply because I don't know who you have in the flex, but I would say that Adam Thielen might be a good play. Bill Parcells is one of them, B-Cal. Belichick and Parcells are 2 of them. Can you name the 3rd head coach that Robert Kraft had in between Parcells and Belichick? Olave or Justin Jefferson? I'm going to lean slightly, I think, towards Justin Jefferson, just a better matchup. My only concern would be, is he going to get pulled because the Vikings don't want him to get injured? Luis, I'd go Waller over Laporta. Waller over Laporta. Under the radar, Pete Carroll is the under one. Under the radar, you got it. Great track record. I know Bill Belichick is arguably the greatest head coach in NFL history, but Robert Kraft's done a pretty good job at getting head coaches. Parcells, Pete Carroll, and Bill Belichick, all 3 are going to end up in Canton eventually. And yes, I do think Pete Carroll does end up in Canton eventually. Pretty impressive overall. Pretty impressive by those 3. Pretty impressive by Robert Kraft. C. Ferg, one of our subscribers. Great to see you, C. Ferg. I'd go, I think, Jordan Addison, barely over Godwin, but it's very close. Nick, I'm going to say A.J. Brown over Dortch, but again, very close. Junior, I'd go Jamal Williams. Junior, I'd go Jamal Williams. KJ Clips, I'd go Zamir White, barely over D-Hop. Very, very close. Carlos, I'd go Rashad White and Achan. Appreciate the question. Appreciate you being with us. Hank the Tank, I'd go DJ Moore. Xander Simmons, I do think Cedric Wilson is going to get more opportunities. I'm not crazy about him, though. Ernest B, we answered your question a little while ago, buddy. That's why I'm not answering it now. We already answered your question, and it's a long-winded one, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. Harris, if you want all of my bets, DM me on Instagram right now. We give away our picks for free every single day. So if you want every game pick, total play, player prop bet, parlay, or round robin that I make every single day, DM me on Instagram. Xander, hit me up. Xander, you are getting every one of the picks I made today because you hit me up on Instagram. Harris, make sure you DM Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram right now to get every single pick. Nick, I'd go AJ Brown. Carlos, appreciate the kind words. Can't wait to have you with us the rest of the off season. Hopefully you're with us for some NBA betting, fantasy baseball, and the rest. But hopefully you guys continue to follow Butt Fumble Sports and are with us for next year's season as well. Playback Patrick, Komet Ferguson. I'd go Ferguson just barely. It is the matchup for me against the Commanders. Josh Lawrence, I'd go Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams has the best matchup. He's the best play. Hank the Tank, I'd go Etienne and Hall. Etienne and Hall. AO, I'd go Jamal Williams. C. Ferg, I'd go Zeke Elliott, C. Ferg. Under the radar, yeah. Isn't that crazy that Robert Kraft was able to have that kind of run of success? Midwest Juice, I love Njoku if he plays. The Bengals have been the worst defense against tight ends all season long. Here's my concern. Why would I want to go with Njoku if he's going to get pulled by halftime? I think Ferguson's the better play. Jeter Leader, let's go, baby. Won his championship by 60 points. Great job. Appreciate you being with us, Jeter Leader. Great to have you with us today. Had a lot of fun answering your questions all season long. YBGBT, I'd go JSN. YBG, I'd go JSM. Slayton or Robinson? Great question. I'm leaning towards Slayton just barely, though it's very close. Yeet Boy, I'd go Jags over... who do I think is going to win? I think the Titans cover. I'll say that. Do I think the Jaguars win? Probably. But I actually like the Titans +7. That's the bet I really like. Justin, I'd go Jordan Love. Justin, I'd go with Jordan Love. Again, if you guys want every bet I make, about 15 minutes before kickoff, everybody, get those bets in. But you don't know what bets I like until you DM me on Instagram. Hit me up right now. MVAO, I'd go Kyler over Tua. Kyler over Tua. Mason, I actually like JSN today. Carlos, I am big fantasy baseball. We're going to do a lot of fantasy baseball. I actually do fantasy basketball, just a lot of you guys don't. We do fantasy sports all year. We do sports betting all year. We rant about sports all year. I created this sports content company because I love talking sports. I've worked at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports HQ, Jim Rome. I was a producer. This is what I love to do. It's why I started this company. It's why I'm with you guys almost every single day. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a show. Pure Magic, we do fantasy basketball. Yes, we do. Mason, Gibbs or Zeke? Mason, I'd go Zeke. Mason, I'd go Zeke. Can Casey wide receiver to play? 0. I wouldn't start any of them. I know they probably have good matchups, but I don't want to run the risk. If Kadarius Toney's in there, maybe he's a good play because they'll at least throw to him enough where he might have a catch. But I'm not betting on Kansas City today. I'm not about it. Is Hurts worth the start? Chris, I think so, but as much because I don't like the backups that are available on the waiver wire. Tyrod Taylor's available. He might be a good one. But frankly, I think I like Hurts a little bit more. Dot, Everett or Johnson? I'd go Everett. I'd go Everett over Jawan Johnson. Pure Magic, I'd go D-Hop over Derrick Henry, barely. I think both could find the end zone, but I like D-Hop just a little bit more based on the matchup. Mark, Bijan or Breece Hall? I'd go Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, Mark. Ant Live, what do you think about Bills-Miami game? Who's winning? Bills are going to win. I think Miami is sitting Mostert and Jalen Waddle, in part because they're going to play next week anyways. They'd rather be healthy. I think the Bills are coming in and getting the win in South Beach. Gainwell or Jamal Williams? I'd go Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams. Ernest B, I'd go Herbert. Ernest B, I'd go Herbert. Midwest Juice, I'd go White, Connor, and Acham. White, Connor, and Acham. Under the radar, do I like Montgomery? Not so much. I don't know how long he's actually going to be on the field today. Xander Simmons, I'm gonna say Gainwell out of that group, barely over Lockett, though it's close. Midwest Juice, I'm gonna go AJ Brown just barely. Aiden, Aiden, I'm gonna say Dak over Hurts, and here's why. Dak plays earlier in the day, so it might be a slightly better play. Final minute of the show, everybody. Final minute of the show. Blaze, I'd go Zamir White. Blaze, Zamir White. Crippler, I'd go Jamal Williams. Mark, I'd go Bijan Robinson. Bucks or Bills defense? I'm going to lean slightly towards the Bucks. I don't feel great about that, but I'll go Bucks. Eduardo, down by 4 in the championship. Do I start Eckler? It's okay. I don't love it. Alex Jasso, I'd go DJ Moore, I think. DJ Moore just barely. Crippler, I'd go Williams. Dubs, I'd go James Cook. Ernest B, Zamir White. Ernest B, Zamir White. Ryan, I like Bucks on the money line more than Jags on the money line, I think. Silent K, I'd go Dak over Fields just barely. Dubs, I'd go James Cook. Final minute of the show. Jason Ivey, I'd go Jordan Addison, barely over Davis. Connor the Prince, Bengals or Browns? I think the Bengals probably win, but I'm not betting it. I'm taking the under in that game if I'm going anywhere. Matt, Jets or Eagles defense? I'd go Jets. Jets defense. Under the radar, get Jamal Williams. I like that waiver wire pickup. Do it now. Midwest Juice, appreciate the kind words. Wash your hands, I'd go Gainwell. Wash your hands, I'd go Gainwell. Is Goddard a safe start today? Not really, because again, we don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to play the whole game. Goddard got hurt in the year, so I think they're going to be conservative with him. He's okay, but frankly, I like Waller more than I like Goddard. Big Uzi, pick 2. Big Uzi, I'd go Slayton and Addison. Slayton and Addison. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Alex Jasso, I'd go Walker. Alex Jasso, I'd go Walker. Brandon Berry, I'd go Zamir White and Herbert. Zamir White and Herbert. Caden, I'd go Patriots defense. Caden, Patriots defense. Crippler, you might want to consider Tyrod Taylor. Not a bad pickup. Cross, I'd go Walker. Cross, I'd go Walker. Guys, it has been a wonderful NFL fantasy football season. It has been special. I have enjoyed every second of it. We created 40 leagues that we were in together on Rival Fantasy, and we enjoyed every single one of them. By the way, guys, there's still opportunity to get in on Rival Fantasy's games. If you guys want to play some games today, like a fantasy football pick'em, Rival Fantasy challenges are available. Who do you think will score more fantasy points? Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. That's all it takes. You pick one player, you place your bet, or if you don't like it, you can skip it. But if you guys want to play some great games that allow you guys to continue to cash in on the fantasy football research that you've done for today, check out Rival Fantasy. Check out their Rival Fantasy challenges. I did really well on it. Just made a deposit of over $500 based on my wins this year. We did very, very well. So hopefully you guys are playing along with us on Rival Fantasy. Great place to get in on the action, even if your season's over, if your championship is complete. For all of those who have watched the show all season long, I'm just grateful. I so appreciate all of you guys. We will be streaming later today. We will be coming back on just to react to some things. But we, of course, will be live as often as we can to give you guys sports betting advice, fantasy sports advice, and to rant about sports. From the bottom of my butt fumble sports heart, thank you. Thank you for supporting our channel. Thanks you for watching our content. There is no greater compliment than knowing that you guys take time out of your day, every single week, to watch us talk sports. I am so appreciative to all of you guys. Jorge knows it. We are team cashing tickets, and we've got a day to go win some money. So whether you're playing fantasy football, whether you're betting on today's action, good luck, everybody. We are rooting for you. We are on your side. We are on your team, and we hope you come away with dubs and cash in your pocket. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. We are going nowhere. Just because fantasy football ends doesn't mean Butt Fumble Sports goes away. We're not a seasonal company. We are a year-long company. So make sure on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Because guess what, everybody? We're going to keep doing this. January through December, Butt Fumble Sports doesn't stop. So hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, as I say at the end of every show, I hope you guys stay healthy, I hope you stay safe, and I hope you have the best NFL Sunday of the entire season. Love talking with you guys and can't wait to do it again. Until then, have a great NFL Week 18, everybody. We'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye, everybody.